going to be starting today a little bit late. In fact, we probably won't even be able to finish this whole thing today, like I was hoping to. But unfortunately, I ran into a pretty much never-ending slew of unfortunate technicalities this morning, so such is life, as it goes. Basically ran into one of these joyful situations where just basically nothing wants to work. So, such is life, like I said. Now, today, since we're kind of wrapping up here, I actually wanted to discuss about something that happened last night, namely 0.93 finally got announced, not announced, released. So it's out. It's there for for download and modding and all. Well, I mean, I don't really know what else you do with it, but yeah, you get it, you play it, and you do that kind of thing. Since I don't have the randomizer out today, screw it. We're just gonna do these by stuff that seems to fit. So let's see. I was talking about doing Sekiro vs Dark Souls, so let's make that happen. Assuming this is probably going to be relatively one-sided, but hey, you never know. You never know. There have been some pretty surprising upsets over the course of this little tournament here, and yeah, a couple of little announcements that I wanted to make alongside that as well. So let's go ahead and get this one started. Again, Souls has 4 beast units in there, so they're getting like 4,000 extra on their score, so it's not that bad. Not that bad. But right. So what I was getting at here. As far as announcements go, yeah, 0.93 is out. We're going to discuss that in just a sec. As far as future runs go, so the next one, by a overwhelming majority of folks that mentioned that they wanted to see it, was an AI run. So yeah, next one Vision run, or I guess technically I could do either version. I figure with the base game, it's really just as simple as make everybody an archer and eventually everything gets wiped, but with one Vision, it typically requires a lot of tricky strategies, and that's a lot harder to do when you can only control one character. Now, I know technically it should be a everybody's under AI, including Denim, but I just think it's more fun when when he's basically got the amazing charisma of, I guess, a salmon that's been dead for about a week and just nobody wants to follow his orders. I think that overall narrative is just more fun. Not to mention it would give an excuse of trying out one of the big features from 0.93, which is the ability to make a zombie army from Chapter 1. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. So that should be pretty dang fun. Like, it just seems like one of those things that should be a dang good time. So, gonna be doing that. Hopefully starting Monday. I mean, with today being a little bit off for finishing this up, like, I don't know how long this will end up taking. It might end up being next Friday, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, other announcements. If anyone was watching the old X Division run and all that kind of thing, probably going to be going ahead and, since it's been just like 8 straight streams of the exact same thing, I was probably just going to go and like off-screen it until either the run ends or some actual progress happens. Mostly because I've been testing out the newer version, and like, holy crap, it's not even close how much it's better. Like, it's just wow. That's all I'm going to say. It's just like everything I would have wanted from that is just vastly improved. So there's that as well. But yeah, whatever. That's neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and talk about 0.93. I don't know if anyone's here yet. I should probably go ahead and check that. If I move this window and get a little bit of lag, what does it say? Let's see, do I go over here? And I don't see anything as far as chat goes. I don't even know if I'd actually see it over here now that I think about it. What if I expand this window while huge lag? Does it tell me then? Yeah, no chat yet. Okay. Fair enough. Honestly, the announcement probably didn't even go out yet. And on top of that, again, it's an afternoon now, so don't expect a whole lot of discussion this time. But 0.93. So if you haven't had a chance to look at the patch notes yet, I figured I'd go ahead and go over those real quick. So yeah, in case you missed it, so Act 1, basically all of the first chapter for both the scaling versions, not including the random battles though, got updated for the mod. So you end up seeing more like more bow and sword kind of builds. You end up seeing the different drops all over the place. Like I said, zombie army thing is actually possible now. So like if you go, Sarah starts off as a rogue, so you go get Sarah, you give her a couple fights, give her steel. Get the Necro mark from Nibith, which is a thing now, and then in the very first Necro fight, there's Living Corpse drops. So basically, yeah, you can do that now. So that's all possible from Chapter 1, like it used to be in the SNES version. Sorry, gonna try to go back and forth between these different windows here to to try and make it not lag. Is that my phone? That's not my phone. Let's see, effects of the game. Oh yeah. That's always good. So yeah, you end up seeing a lot more stuff that's appropriate for the mod. On top of that, let's see, yeah, Sarah joins as the early access rogue. Some special characters have different gears and skills, so yeah, this includes stuff like Canopus coming in with a spear now. Also, he comes in with rank 1 in 3 different weapon skills instead of a couple rank 2s, so you don't automatically want to leave him with his 2 starting weapons just for the sake of that extra finisher. Let's be honest, it always was a bit cheap, because like in the original version he was just like a walking delete button for the entire first chapter. And then you gave him a longbow, and then he was a walking delete button for the entire rest of the game, but still, you know, that's probably why they gave him short bows and axes. Like, as much as it's a pretty clear reference to the Ogre Battle games, I'm pretty sure it's just like, okay, short bows kind of suck, axes kind of suck, just give him those, and we'll hope it works out and nobody notices. And then everybody noticed. Let's see, other kind of miscellaneous changes that he made here. Duration of status effects got changed to be kind of universal for like when you use an item or when, you know, there's a cast given or something like that, to be a bit more consistent. Two-handers got nerfed, making hammers and maces better though. Animation of the rapier and frogrock got changed to actually be a stabbing one now. Those are the 2 fencing swords. The Volcadius got a boost. I don't see it on here, but there was an axe that was technically in the wrong category as well, but he had changed that one. The grapple bracer is usable by lightweight classes, and it's actually a lightweight item now. Heavy shields do more damage to obstacles, and elemental resistances on light and heavy armor is increased, so they're a little bit less weak to casters. So hang on, a quick little thing here. How's this fight going? Should probably check that real quick, huh? I guess it's one of those things that we're paying attention to. Oh, wow. Yeah, the Sekiro team's getting completely friggin' wiped. Who's still standing? So Sekiro's still standing, Owl's still standing, Emma's barely still standing, Tengu and Kuro got taken out, Genichiro, really? He usually lasts a good bit, kinda weird that he's taken out. And the Sculptor is still there, so okay. Moving right along. So, Field Alchemy got a bit more restricted. Basically, before Field Alch 1 was available to almost everyone. Also, I apologize for all the shaking on the thing. I'm accidentally shaking everything here. So yeah, Field Alch 1 got a bit more restricted. As some classes got reverted down to Field Alch 1 as opposed to 2. Trajectory has an active effect now, so that basically improves your accuracy. Let's see, monsters can only learn augments of their particular element. And all the dragons got redone to be better at their particular element, and also have stats to kind of, in some cases, compensate, in some cases, just like augment whatever else they can do. So, for example, like lava dragons got improved in terms of their stats, because lava walk is absurdly situational, but you know, but they're going to be stronger in terms of general fighting. Whereas the ones that can fly around much easier, those are the ones with lower stats now. So, let's see, most land-loving monsters can learn Jump 1, also Krakens got improved, so that's always good. Warrior, Spellblade, and Terror Knight lost access to Golemy, that's because of Pumpkinheads having access to those, I believe. Archer can learn Reflect Damage, so that basically saved the luck run. Wait, was it that? No, I don't think did I even... Yeah, no, I did use Archers. Yeah, I think that's probably what saved that luck run. Dragoon can learn Fusils at level 25, just like the Buccaneer, so it doesn't have to be transferred anymore. The Rogue can't use Kisses and Pumpkin skills anymore, because that's just a Trickster thing now. There's a Trickster and Warden. They're the 2 new classes. Which, by the way, one question that's come up several times now is whether there's any issues as far as updating it. The only 2 known ones that don't really even affect anything, to be honest, is with one of them, if you've been using a stone or iron golem, and then you end up updating it, and say one of those is still that class, technically speaking, it's a class that doesn't exist, which is fine. You can just change them over to a golem with the right cheats. That's over in the cheats section of the guide if you need it. Otherwise, if you've been using those classes before, then you will see their heads on, like, if you hit square and right, you know, that whole menu, whatever you want to call it. I just call it the square menu, but whatever. If you end up going on that menu, you'll see their heads instead of the pumpkin head or the gremlin. It's a minor thing, it's just kind of there. As far as I can tell, it's just the first time you encounter a class, it locks it in as that particular class. So that's why that's there. Not really too much that can be done about it. Let's see. Bahamut's and Tiamat's can use their respective casting elements now. So yeah, you get caster dragons finally. Octopus and Cyclops got access to reflect damage, so given their ridiculously high HP, they can actually do a pretty reasonable punch with that. Actually, they're probably the best at using it in the entire game. Let's see, lower tier area spells are available later, but hit harder. So you probably won't have as much of an issue with Quadriga and stuff like that, but you know, later on they'll end up being a bit more useful. Bursts got renamed, but then when they were renamed, that ended up breaking the Ars Magna crafting book, as in if you tried to look at it, under some circumstances your game would just crash. So that got fixed as well. So yeah, that's not an issue anymore. But yeah, they got cool new names. Life Force got changed to be percentage-based as opposed to being stat-based like it was before. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that got changed in this one. Let's see, orbs got made cheaper so that you can get to Neb even easier. Alright, there we go. There's the Sekiro team taken out, unfortunately. Wasn't really expecting them to do too well. They were mostly there for the sake of showing off that new build possibility. I think next we'll do... a rematch from last... Actually, no. We'll save that rematch real quick. Let's say... I think XCOM vs. Pokemon should be pretty fun. Let's do that. So where's XCOM at? There we go. I should also mention, as far as this tournament's concerned, I actually fixed the two teams. Obviously, we fixed X Division last time to be a bit less broken, and I went in and fixed Breath of Fire 3 to be so that Nina actually has the right skills there. That was my mistake last time. I'm pretty sure they would have lost it anyway, but either way, it was a mistake that I wanted to fix. Alright. So, functionally speaking, these two should be very, very even, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, next up, yeah, orbs got made cheaper, level 4 gear is available from the start, just like it was in the vanilla version of the game. Basically, that's your first effective tier, so yeah, if you end up getting a little bit over-leveled in those first few fights, you have the ability to use that stuff. Yeah, all item stuff from all the other shops are available in the Palace of the Dead, so if you have some particular stuff you forgot to go pick up, you can actually get those now. Monster auction rewards are slightly different. I actually haven't taken a look at what's different on those, so we can probably do that by the end of the stream. There's some new spells that can be gotten at Deneb's. Let's see, some descriptions and stuff like that got fixed. Oh yeah, for anyone that's playing on PSP, like specifically just the PSP, because this was fixed on the Vita. But basically, the little icon that pops up previously would just show up as kind of like a glitchy box for whatever bizarre reason, but that's fixed now. What else? Oh yeah, dialogue got updated for Quadriga. So he pretty much comes and outright tells you, like, hey, this is an optional fight. Maybe don't do it yet if you're not ready, you know, just so you know. Might be one of those things that's worth considering saving for later. And it's funny because he actually even had a little explanation as to why in game lore, like, he actually can't go anywhere. So you know, that's always nice as well. And it's actually funny because in many ways this version makes more sense than the dialogue from the original. So here's the thing: when you go to Quadriga, you're back in the SNES version, you know, it was Leonard's fight. He went in there, he failed, he's supposed to be coming back and helping and doing all that kind of thing. But in the remake, he never shows up. For whatever reason, he decides he's got better stuff to do, but he's just gonna sit there and fight all day, that somebody's gotta go do it. It's like, oh man, I can't go face my boss after taking all those losses. Why don't you go do it? I'm like, okay, we'll all go. We're all totally with you, except for me. I'm just gonna leave. So basically, the dialogue's redone now to kind of explain that whole thing, that he says, like, okay, he's not going anywhere. let's take another step back here, because in the SNES version, if you didn't take that fight right away, it would disappear as soon as you went back to Almorca. In this case, since the original remake, it doesn't go anywhere until the end of Chapter 1 instead, which logically makes sense because you control the town, he can't actually leave anywhere, so, kind of makes sense for him to try to sit there and hold out and hope nobody comes for him. But that's exactly what's explained in the dialogue now, that Leonard's there is like, oh, I already lost, I don't know what I'm doing against this guy, basically. It's like, maybe somebody else might be better at it. My talents are best used over here holding the city and all that, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. If you guys want to go fight him, go ahead, but he's not going to be leaving anywhere. We're kind of just sieging his little fortress there. Like, he doesn't have any boats or anything, so he can't go anywhere. So it's a nice little change. Feels nice. Alright, how are we doing on this tournament here? Yeah, let's look at that score. Because right now, let's see. Yeah, the Pokemon team's looking very solid. The XCOM team, not so much. Yeah, they're not really holding up too well, I gotta say. There's a few changes I could have made with them. So we'll just count all of this as the big warm-up. Like, the big warm-up to the big run. Because, yeah, the AI run has been one that I've been joking about doing for, like, over a year now. And it kept doing it, and in previous versions, like pre-defense patch versions, there were times when it was the same old thing that you could just over-level everybody and leave it on AI and keep on going. But since the defense rework, since a lot of different changes like that, it's like the previous attempts at it have failed. But it will follow the same rules as all the other runs. It's just the same: no save, no chariot. And the way that the rules are going to go is just I can only control Denim. And this is mostly like I would go for full. Everybody has to be AI, but then it would just be boring. He's just going to sit in the back row the entire time and do nothing, and we're just sitting there watching the AI. But if we turn this into entirely single-player kind of experience, then this might be completely different. Or, I guess, single-unit experience. Because, like, at that point, it just sets up this whole narrative. Here's this commander that nobody likes. It's like, why? Why does nobody like that guy? Why didn't we put him in charge? So, I already had a name picked out, already had an order picked out. It's just gonna be like Ned Stank of the Order of No Order. Seems fitting, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, I wanted to try that out at the earliest possibility. And yeah, I guess that's kind of about that there. Man, he's putting down a ton of phalanxes. He just really wants to make sure nobody gets down that hallway. Although it's wound up weirdly fitting in terms of the trainer not actually coming up and assisting very much. Oh well. Oh well. They're holding out. Yeah, no. The Pokemon team's totally got this. They've 110% got this. Only because they've got a ton of recovery, whereas XCOM doesn't. They've got one unit. Like the funny part is the support is set up much the same way as the trainer is. It's just that yeah, she's also doubling as a fighter for the team, so not really working out so hot there. So I think it's safe to go ahead and mark them off. We will probably go back and do that whole like XCOM versus Xenonauts grudge match at some point. But realistically, I don't think they can win it. It's just everything about them kind of. They relied on being able to use a ton of abilities at once, which the AI does not know how to do effectively. So, oh well. There's a flying Charizard, just like everybody always wanted. Alrighty. And yeah, while I don't think anyone from that crowd's here, if anybody was watching the X Division run and all that kind of thing, so to kind of touch briefly upon what I was saying earlier, so that run has gone a very, very long time just like doing the same thing. It's just the same, get a bunch of rookies, go and go and go, and then, hope to eventually break through all those bases there. And while there's been progress, again, I just want to point out that even going back and looking at them, it's been functionally unwatchable. So, to spare anybody that experience, that's why I was going to go and, like, either go all the way up until there's somebody, one of the UFOs gets through and attacks the base or something, or we're just going to go ahead and do something along the lines of, you know, either a last stand, or if eventually all those bases get wiped and there's actually a chance for progress, then we'll continue there. I just want an excuse to just abandon that run without actually abandoning it and move on to the next version, because oh my god, 1.10 is amazing. I just want to say. Also, hello there, Spirwa. How you doing? And yes, I am wearing a suit because 0.93 is out. That's the rule. Got to break out the old business suit every time there's new update released. Got to get some mileage out of this thing. Yeah, back from when I was doing my business traveling days. I was a very fancy assistant. Let's see, what's the list of awesome things on top? Wait, what? List of awesome things on top? Wait, do you mean the spreadsheet up there, or do you mean the updates from 9.3? Oh, yeah, this is the AI tournament. Basically, a bunch of people submitted requests for teams that they wanted to see, like just see remade in one vision. And the idea is that I made them as close as I could, gave them as many, as many things as I could, as many advantages as I could. So, like right now, we have XCOM, EU, and one character from XCOM 2 versus a Pokemon team. So, like right here, we got a Kraken as an octopus as an artillery. We got a Pidgeot, you know, because Pidgeot totally evolves into a Griffin. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Knight of Lodis is still there. We got a Cubone as a Golem. We got a Machoke as a Golem as well, but with a different build. You know, a Hydra as a Dodrio, a Charizard as a Flame Dragon that can fly. It's fun. You know, it's just for fun. And yeah, I was announcing that on Monday I was hoping to start the AI run. So the idea of that is just to get through the entire game using only AI. The only character I can use is Denim, just to make it a bit more fun. Because if it was just AI, it would be kind of, we just sit there watching as they do stupid crap for an hour for each fight. And yeah, for the XCOM team here, we got like a pistol and sword with heavy armor for the assault or the ranger, whatever you want to go with. Got a burst fire and some heavy armor, or some decent armor at least. For the heavy, we got some medium armor as well. Some heavy and medium, kind of like mix of regular armor and evasion, plus some item abilities for the support. And then for the sniper, it's a crit build and light armor. For the mech, it's a boulder tossing with a crest of fire golem, and then a shiv here that can fly with a thing for accuracy and a bunch of wind abilities that's supposed to serve as the shiv. So yeah. I tried to get all of them. I tried to get as many references in there as I could. I tried to make as much similarity as I could. I'd say the XCOM one didn't turn out super well, and also they're just wiped out of the tournament. So we're pretty close to the end of the tournament, actually. This is like it was double elimination. So right now every fight causes another team to get eliminated. So feel free to request any of the fights above, and that's the next one we'll go for. But just for the sake of showing it off, let's have Knight of Lodis fight somebody now. See how they do. But yeah, the last time, a lot of teams fought against the Xenonauts team. One of their items was weirdly, like it had an unfortunate bonus that it had on there. Like every time in practice, they seemed to be pretty 50-50 as far as whether they won or not. And then they just got a string of victories that was absolutely undeniable, so, you know, had an interesting time. So like right here, we got a Ivana with the Notos here, because of course she's got to have it. I always wound up getting Phoenix Mail on her, despite the fact that she's an Earth element, but whatever. Relatively tanky type setup, goes for her big hitty type moves. Let's see. Alphonse here with the Ambition, the Power Fist for the Fist Fight emblem, the City Shoes, because I always had them warping around. The Crest of Fire, because I'm pretty sure most runs ended up getting that dang thing. And then the Ogre Helm, because once again, I'm pretty sure everybody wound up getting that thing. So, like, this was pretty close to my usual build on it. Since parts of the team are pretty weak, I was pretty okay with giving them the Fist of Fire. Or the Crest of Fire. Wait, why is it called Ambition in here? It's always been called the Ambition. This is actually in the base game, too. It's just it was the hardest weapon... Wait. With an N? It's always been... No, it's always been that. Are you saying, like, why is it called Ambition and not Ambition or something? I don't know. Anywho, moving on here. So yeah, Eleanor coming in with her usual Chapter 2 type setup with her necklace, leather, short bow. We got Richter here. The reason that he's given this one is to give him a few extra stats, as well as the fact that it has a fancy fire sword, just like it does in the story. We got Ariel here with a lightning spear with a full lightning build. Orson here with his earth bow and a vest and some gloves. Shivan here with his fire setup. Grease boots so he can walk in water like they do in Night of Lodis. Sybil with her wind setup. Elric with his ice setup and his summons. Euphrey with her summons as well as her spell charge. Glycinia with her absolutely random as crap equipment. This is a collection of all the random stuff you'd find her with throughout the course of the game. Like, the Icarus is supposed to be taking the place of the Crescente, or the Crescent. I always call it the Crescente because it always seems Spanish to me. The Frostbite, because she does have an ice shield in one of them. Same thing with the Ice Chain. You can get an early Ice Chain by fighting her early. I remember getting the crown on her, but I honestly couldn't remember enough to check, but it seemed like the kind of thing she'd be carrying around. And then the Fire Worm to take the place of the amulet that she comes with at one time. And then Lobelia with the Longinus, taking place of the Longicolnus. But yeah, just giving an extra shield just because, you know, lots of tower shields in Night of Lodis. No glass pumpkin? Well, you can't equip any glass pumpkins. Lobelia isn't a snap? Yeah, I know, it's not canon. Yeah, you always get Lobelia to make her into that one holy snap. Though, to be fair, you can get... Like, I always really preferred going double snaps, getting the one from the fortress and getting the one from the giant story fight. And then just going, like... I always made the giant with as many strength emblems as I could, made it the same element as the leader, and that was like his main thing, and then the Swordmaster is the second one, so if they couldn't one-shot something, they'd go for the Swordmaster version, A, for the extra stats, and B, for the chance of an insta-kill. It was pretty neato. Pretty neato. So let's see, OB64 got wiped out last time. Let's say FF4. They're another one of the big teams, so let's go for that. And yeah, FF4, I'm just gonna quickly scroll through these builds here just to show you the kind of stuff that we're working with here. Like, generally, Cyan has been the one that's been carrying this team pretty hard. So, like, the ones that I knew, I tried to get as accurately as I could. Everybody else that got submitted, and at least the ones that I got into, I had to just go with what was on the wiki. So, like, for FF4, apparently I got some characters from FF5 in there. I know, FF6, I know, I gotta... It's 4, but it's also 6, but... whatever. That submission got all kinds of screwy. I'm sorry, Evan, I know. Let's see, so, wait, are the names and sprites hacked? Can you actually customize, let's see, needs Margalef and Gilgamesh? Yeah, so, that's the thing. That team, that's why it's FF4-ish on the thing, because I kinda screwed some stuff up, because apparently when I was going through the other characters in the team, somehow the Wikipedia thing got mixed up, and then I always get all those old FFs confused in terms of who's in what. So my only frame of reference going through the entire thing was, what's the one with the king with the chainsaw? So that's where it's going. So it got all kinds of weird. It's just classic FF. We'll go with that. Yeah, there we go. Intentional. Totally what I was going for. But let's see. So are the names and sprites hacked, or can you actually customize? You kind of sort of can. The idea is... in vanilla, if you tried to give a unique class to a generic character, the game would just crash. So every single character is just using generic out-of-the-store characters transformed into whatever would be appropriate for them in order to make it as fair as possible. Generally speaking, even unique characters don't really stick out too much in terms of being, you know, unstoppably strong or anything. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, they're all just out-of-the-store stuff. What Rakes did is he added custom sprites for generic characters as unique classes, because again, the game didn't originally think that somebody would be using cheats for that, so that's why it would use to crash. Yeah, Euphrey didn't age well, but that was the one class that would make her able to do everything that she needed to do. Plus, to be fair, I could totally see this as old Euphrey. Like, she still got that same kind of expression, you know? She always kind of looked pretty bummed out, which, yeah, I mean, if you're going around basically with your zombie mom in your brain forever, and then your dad tries to get busy, that's let's just say that that whole storyline was a little bit questionable. CPS should have gotten involved in that mess. Yeah. So, she got a little bit stressed out by all that. Also the fact that Elric actually got hired into the team. Was Sybil in the party? Yeah, Sybil's in the party. I have both A and B routes on there. So, yeah, Sybil comes in with not Orson, with, why am I forgetting his name? Ninja guy, Shivan, there we go. So she comes in with Shivan, and then Richter and Orson are on the other side of the team. So if you saw the starting formation, they're like on opposite sides. Tried to reference everything as much as I could. Yeah, Richter's on the team as too. You can hire all of them, just not on the same route. But yeah, so these two have been two very resourceful teams so far. Like, up to this point, it's back to being anyone's game because the Xenonauts team got nerfed real hard after dominating last time. That was their prize for beating everybody. So they no longer have those Ogre shields for the sake of that 20% defense. They got downgraded from their tier 3s to their tier 2s, I guess. Which is funny, because as far as, like, I thought I was doing well, then one of the creators of the mod sent me a little story somebody had posted, basically saying, like, oh man, I'm not doing too well. Here's all the stuff that's, like, several tiers ahead of anything I managed to unlock. And, you know, I'm managing to go through bases without losing anyone. Meanwhile, I've lost, like, 300 plus rookies. That's all that matters. It's like force-feeding rookies into generators to clog it all up like a dang, you know, colony of ants. But yeah, they're all in there. They're all in there. I think every recruitable character from Night of Lodis is in there. Like, if I could get any team up to 12, I tried. But some of them just didn't have the manpower to make that happen. Like, I wasn't going to put a bunch of, like, oh yeah, here's just a bunch of random grunts or whatever. But as far as named characters, I tried to put as many as I could. Like, for example, one of them that's on the list is Avalon. I guarantee you there's no friggin' way that they're making it to the very end. Like, I almost want to do Avalon versus the nerfed Xenonauts just to see how he does. Because it's one guy. It's just one poor guy. It was my contribution to the tournament. You know, aside from building and attempting to balance all the teams. But as far as actual submissions go, that was mine. I think, like, Phantasy Star 4 turned out really awesome. I still kind of want to see either Night of Lodis or Phantasy Star 4 do it. Like, I know I was rooting for Pokemon last time. And then I was thinking in the parking lot later that day, like, man, I don't like that Phantasy Star team now. That one's almost exactly right. So yeah, feel free to request any fights. Oh, by the way, another quick announcement thing. And yes, I'm shaking the dang table again. Because I keep slapping things, I'm just used to doing that. But, what's it? Vita stuff is now possible. So, I was actually going to do like a quick... Well, I was going to do two quick one-offs. One of them was going to be Civ Revolution 2, which I keep going on about. Just like at random all the time, just to show how weird that game is. And the other one was going to be the Vita version of XCOM, just to show you how weirdly unique that is. We're going to go with unique. I don't know what you're talking about it's super laggy and missing more than half the textures. It's fine. You don't need walls for a strategy game. See, Lord of the Rings versus Game of Thrones should be good. Come to think of it, didn't we? I think we did that. I think that was... Yeah, no, we did do that, and Game of Thrones beat them. You can always go for the rematch. Yeah, let's go for the rematch. Whoa. Labili almost got a double kill there. Game of Thrones vs. March of the Black Queen? Sounds good to me. So let's see here. FF4's got 2 down. Yeah, this is going pretty even, actually. Yeah, 2 down on each side. Now we're looking at about... I'd say like 70% strength on this side. I'd say about... honestly about the same on this side. So yeah, they're going even. They're going real even. Yeah, this weekend. This weekend's the fight. It's the big one. where they're totally, absolutely not going to win because it's the middle of the season. Like, how much of that of an upset would that be? Like, 5 seconds? Like, all this build-up. Years of build-up. They finally get to that fight, right? Some random schmuck fires an arrow and, like, hits the Night King in the eyeball and he dies and they all just fall apart. It's like, all that build-up, no payoff. Man, I would love it if that happened. That'd be amazing. Read an interesting theory. It's about the catacombs thing. Like, where he doesn't even show up and comes out of the catacombs. I'm assuming that'll be true. Like, they've hinted several times that Tyrion might die. Or at least, like, Bale or something. Let's see. The NK doesn't actually want to end the world, rather just wants to free them from the crypts. Alright, fair enough. I mean, that sounds like, isn't it all related to that one theory a while ago that's, like, he's some guy from the books that was previously known as, like, the Night's King instead of the Night King, and then, like, I think he was, like, somehow related to the Builder guy, and then he got sent to the Wall, and then he just decides to go, I don't know. They're different? Okay. Because, yeah, I don't know. There were a bunch of ones like that, and all I could think of every time I saw one of those was like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff they cut out from the books, though. Like, what happened to the angry zombie, you know? There's a friggin' very well-dressed zombie that's supposed to be running around going all Judge Dredd on people, but they're not around. Let's see. Night's King book is only... Who's a traitorous guy or... Yeah, okay. There we go. I mean, hey. It's not out of the realm of reality. I was watching this whole thing a while ago. There was just a bunch of bizarre situations where people have done weird stuff with bodies. Yes, I know, that sounds really weird. It came up on this one historical channel thing. I swear to God I wasn't looking for this. Anyway, one of them was this dude that apparently had just like had dreams of somebody, and then they just like ran into a girl at a hospital with was it tuberculosis, and apparently walked up to the parents like, yeah, no, I had a ton of dreams that I'm supposed to take care of them. Like, oh, are you a doctor? It's like, I guess technically I am, and I think he was like a vet or something. Or no, he was a psychiatrist, I think. And then she passed away, and then for some reason, like, he went back to those parents like, well, I guess I'll take care of everything funeral-wise, you know, you should totally let me do that, and they apparently still didn't question it. So he goes and has her, like, embalmed or something, and then, like, years later, they walk in on this guy dancing with a corpse and all that. So, maybe it was inspired by that? No, probably wasn't. Though you do know, that's probably... Yeah, exactly. It was, I think it was, like, Sam O'Neill History or something like that. I don't know. It was one of those. One of those ones that's maybe questionable in terms of whether or not it actually happened, but it's still pretty entertaining to watch anyway. Just because some pretty friggin' weird stories come out of that. Or Salmonella Academy, was that it? I don't know, something like that. Something like that! Yeah, it's kind of looking like FF4 is getting the edge here. But yeah. I mean, you just keep looking at the news all the time. There's always somebody trying to get busy with something they ought not to. Alright, let's see. 3 down on FF4, 4 down on on Night of Lodis. Let's see, have you played Katana Zero? No, I have not. I most certainly have not. Is it like Patient Zero's the first katana ever made? And that was the one that could cut through space and time in reality? Splosh, splosh, splosh. Oh, just one stun? Okay. It's a pun based on the story? Okay. I am not familiar with it. Like a strategy game or some such? Yeah, I will say I used to be a lot more varied in terms of the different stuff I tried. More often than not, if I'm not streaming something I probably haven't touched very much in terms of games the last few years. Like all the other responsibilities and all that. It's a side-scrolling Hotline Miami. Nice. Come to think of it, there was one game that I'm a little bit surprised never got a remake or a comeback or something. There's this this old side-scrolling thing that kind of like that. At least sounds kind of like that. It's called a Birth the Barbarian. There was like basically this like gag take on Conan the Barbarian. It was just like this crazy caveman guy running around swinging the sword everywhere, like just giblets flying everywhere. Way too much physics. It was pretty awesome. Let's see, a pretty disturbing story, but interesting dialogue choices and branching dialogues. Okay, wouldn't have expected that from a side-scroller. Would not have expected it. By the way, Glycinia might be the weak link to that team, by the way. Which, of course, she should be, but I mean, she's also running into that glitch where she's using an ability she can't use. I forgot to fix that last time. See, also, awesome synthwave-like soundtrack. See, now, there we go. Now, that's the selling point right there. It's like immediately 10 extra points on the review if it's got synth. Never used Glycinia or Labina. Okay, funny part is, they can be really good for exactly one attack. Fairies didn't seem worth it. Well, I beat the entire game with just fairies. Yeah, they weren't worth it. Not Missile Barrage, but, or wait, was it Missile Barrage? No, I think Missile Barrage was the basic one, and then I think it was Magic Barrage was the upgraded version that they very specifically had to spend both their turns on, and it was kind of weaker than just having them each attack whatever. Either way, it wasn't terribly amazing, but there was exactly one fight that it was really good for, in which it was the what's her face, the Margaret fight. If you stick them both on top of the castle wall and then they couldn't be touched, and then you would just basically have them just like rain down with that over and over, because eventually once they get down to like 2 health, they're not going to die from using it. So yeah, so they're useful for exactly one fight. The problem is you shouldn't put them directly on the wall, because like A, it's a direct fire thing, so I guess they can't technically be one tile back, but B, there's kind of the issue that it turns out Atropos can hit up there. Totally not personal experience from seeing one of them get chopped into friggin' bits from a single hit, but, you know, whatever. I've never had both of them survive a run without intentionally going for, like, a no-deaths run. They just die so easily. But yeah, no, did you ever see the fairy run? Like, I'm assuming most folks that are here right now probably haven't seen that thing. Because I think I had, like, 50 people that were looking at stuff way back then. But yeah, so it was actually a challenge that Mr. Vale had put out there. He was joking one day on one of the older videos, saying, "Okay, you know, I can't respect that you know all this stuff about the game unless you can beat the entire thing using only fairies." And so the Mosquito Run was born, in which the idea was to beat every single game in the series using gremlins and fairies, depending on, you know, what was available for the respective game and all that kind of thing. Which, by the way, yeah, March of the Black Queen really sucked with that up until they suddenly became really overpowered. But yeah, so with Knight of Lodis, man, that Historia Castle fight, like, pretty much almost... Let's see, I think we took 18 casualties over the course of that thing. Only wound up with, like, a handful actually making it out, and even then it was really, really close. Like, it got to the point where they were just one-shotting dudes left and right in the crypts and everything. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, there were a lot of little things figured out, like, if you... Obviously, like everything else, if you over-level them, it completely breaks the game. Which was exactly what I did. After we just barely survived that one, I was like, okay, fine, screw it. Everybody's level 50 now. So they all just sit there punching each other, so there's just, like, a bunch of, like, completely jacked, like, Schwarzenegger fairies flying around. With pretty much any emblem you could think of. The head fairy, aka Steve the Murder Fairy, who just kind of became a mascot for that run. Let's see, does this look like it was forged by God? Just an iron spear, humongous pile of fairy corpses. Pretty much. But yeah. We lost a ton of dudes over the course of that run. But yeah, so that's where the legend of Steve the Murder Fairy was born, because in the background of all this, Vale was putting together a whole, like, weird narrative where it was just basically like just a street gang running out of a church pimping out fairies to really messed up individuals and all that kind of thing, and just, like, Alphonse just shows up one day like, "Oh man, you know, I'm all bright-eyed and ready to go for some conquests and whatever else, and then they just, like, recruit him. It's like, no, you will officially lead us, but you follow Steve. So yeah, it went pretty nuts. It went pretty nuts, though. So, like, by the end, Steve is there with, like, a Snapdragon in each hand, Ogre Helm and Fire Crest, so that same build I was talking about earlier. Completely maxed out stats, he's level 50, he's got every single attack emblem he can possibly get, like, the dude's decorated as hell. And yeah, even with dual Snapdragons, he still does less damage than Alphonse, who hasn't even been trained up to that point. It's like, he's just standard level while everybody else is 50. I mean, Alphonse and Eleanor both had to be brought along, so we wanted to get the, you know, the good ending. The Alphonse and Eleanor just decide to go and retire, and fairies take over the world ending, as I think we put it at the time. Actually, per Vale's request, that last episode had to be called Shaharing is Caharing. But we did find out an interesting thing, in which it turns out that the little damage bonus that they had in OB64, apparently Knight of Lodis also has that on fairies. They just don't ever mention it. And usually it never comes up, but yeah, every time that he hit the last boss, his damage kept going up. So pretty much the entire last boss was just Steve standing right next to the thing, getting constant makeouts from all the rest of his team, while repeatedly just shanking this gigantic demon thing. So yeah, constant makeouts. Yeah, there were never-ending makeouts over the course of that run. I will say the quality was pretty garbage at that point. Which, technically speaking, I almost completed that challenge that Vale was talking about. Because the original challenge, sure was beating the entire series of just fairies. And then I amended it saying, I will beat the entire series without ever taking a single loss. Which I did, mostly. Because Knight of Lodis beat without any losses. March of the Black Queen beat without any losses, got knocked down to 1 health one time, but still made it without ever getting a game over. Made it to made it through one vision. Beat all of that. Pretty much the entirety of the end, like the end game, was just like doing 1 damage to Templars and all that. And then finally. Actually, it's funny because there was a running theme that there was exactly 1 casualty at every last boss fight. Finally got through OB64, and there was technically a weird thing where suddenly the rules changed from March of the Black Queen, where even if you would have won a fight, so like even if you would have won the thing, if you were just about to take their fortress and everything else, if they so much as touch your base, you just get a game over, which was kind of a crappy thing because like I didn't realize at the time, and I was assuming that might be the case, but there was just kind of like a rule that was put in place. It was like, if we actually are losing the fight, and it looks like we're actually getting overwhelmed, and we lose that fortress, then yes, that'll be the end of the run right there. But if it's one of these situations where they love to set these traps all throughout the game, where they're like, oh man, you're about to go get our fortress, well, we're gonna go touch yours real quick, and then they just send like every single unit to go mob whatever's guarding your original fort. So like, even if the end boss has like 1 health left, and like, that's it, that they've lost every other town, you have a ton of units all around the place, and then they just get a bunch of technicality wins because fairies do no friggin' damage, then, like, they literally cannot do damage, is the thing. They can, like, if you put them in the back row, they can maybe do 10, and that's as high as it goes. If you use cheats to give them 500 higher stats than they normally should, they can almost do as much as a regular guy just running up and hitting something. So yeah, they're actually not meant to do damage at all. So it all consisted of just more or less a solo run, meaning that they would technically lose almost every fight that they ran into, which is what made that crappy. So, you know, we just basically put a house rule in place where if they actually are losing the fight, then that'll count as a loss. But yeah, if it's just a technicality loss like that, no, it's not going to count. And so, you know, everyone agreed. It seemed like a fair rule given the circumstances. And all's well and good, you know? At that point, Steve became over 100 years old, because you get a prize for every time that you get another year. So yeah, we just kept that going up until he was 99 years old, as was every other character in the game. Who even knows that they were still standing, but whatever. And so we get to the very end, and yeah, up until that point, we had a few scary run-ins with Sphinxes. which are basically like a super griffin kind of thing in that one. They're ones that are almost impossible for someone playing to go get. They're just like this one random really OP unit that just shows up kind of rarely. And so what happened was I looked away for a moment, and you know, it was just one team getting kill after kill after kill, and there was one of those random ones in there. And I looked back at the screen, and there's just like Steve dying to one of those things, despite being more than twice its level, despite having like the best items in the game. Doesn't matter. Apparently those things can actually one-round kill anything in the game without any rhyme or reason. Like, they will always hit with whatever they're weak to. So that was, we're gonna go with unfortunate. Alright, so how are we doing here? So, man, this is going real close. This is still 5v5 right now. They're just trading blow for blow here. Though I will say the KOL team's looking a bit worse for wear between the two, for sure. Wait, what the crap? Oh, no. FF4 is winning it. Sorry, my bad. I thought that was Lobelia for a second. No, it's 4v6, yeah. FF4 is currently winning it. Alright, anyway. Yeah, Steve really got around. Exactly. So you can interject and say for the next April Fools, Rakes has to mod the Swordmaster dances into having a hard base in ADM. Man, if only. Right, so technically speaking, he can't alter the stuff in there, but who knows? By then, he might be able to. By the way, how's the audio? Because the bars are kind of going all over the place on this end. So I just want to make sure it's all looking decent. By the way, it's randomly summer with a risk of snow tomorrow. No idea. It's like it's literally to the point where the windows are closed not to keep the cold out, but to keep the heat out. And yeah, a little bit uncomfortable in the suit, I gotta say. But you know, that's Michigan for you. All right. Yeah, I think FF4's got this one. So what do we want to see next? Yeah, there goes their heaviest hitter. Oh, wait, we were talking about, what was it? March of the Black Queen versus Game of Thrones, right? Get all them big teams out of the way. No, he just one-shot Shivan. Although somehow that seems fitting that Cyan comes out and he just like insta-kills Shivan in their, I guess, sword showdown. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so that's Knight of Lodis knocked out of the tournament. Alright, so next we got friggin' Game of Thrones. Alright, so going over the Game of Thrones team real quick here. Got the Hound, got the Mountain, got Snow, because, you know, he had to have his ice sword. Got Jorah, got Tyrion, got Jaime, got her, got Brienne there, got Dany, and Melisandre, and Arya, and Bronn. And I just put Viserion in there for the dragon. And there we go. Maybe there should have been 2 dragons, but I really wanted to have Bronn in there. And, let's see. Who are they against? March of the Black Queen. Let's see if March of the Black Queen can be the big upset team. So yeah, for them we got Lance, Tristan, Ashe, Debonair, Canopus, Fogel, Warren, Lucius, Norn, Gilbald, and Destin, and a speedrun Griffin. So there we go. Let's do this thing. Points favor GOT. I would say my money's on March of the Black Queen between the two of them, just because they've got some faster units. There's a lot more AoEs on the GOT team, because they've got a lot of their movie reference items. It's like Bronn coming in with his big explosion for that one time, or Dany coming in with her orders to fire breath some things, you know, a couple times. All that kind of business. Alright, let's go ahead and mark those 2 teams down as well. There we go. Just to show that those are the 2 fighting. And just a brief recap, by the way, Sphirwa. So the reason Xenonauts is in purple is because so far they are undefeated. So right now, everybody that's on the yellow side here is essentially fighting A, to remain in the tournament, and B, for the chance to go fight the Xenonauts at the end. So they gotta win 2 fights against them in order to take it. Now, depending on how it goes, if it winds up with 3 of them, right? If it winds up with 3 of them, I'm gonna allow the last 2 to each take a shot at Xenonauts, and then just like have the last 2 fight it out. Otherwise, if it's 2 at the very end, I'm just gonna have those 2 fight it out and try to beat Xeno twice. So I think that's fairish. I guess technically speaking, they're fair for getting a challenge from anyone up until then, anyway. So yeah, anybody that's not marked in red is fair for a rematch. All requests are fair game because my other computer with a randomizer on it is currently a couple of rooms away, so I don't really feel like redoing that setup. Had it all set up for all my work stuff. Yeah, like, so for example, reference-wise between these 2 teams, anytime that somebody did something cool in the story, I try to reference that for their respective teams as well. So for example, with Destin over on the March of the Black Queen team, pretty much every one of the tarot card abilities he has as one of the abilities that he can use. They're obviously not going to be as strong, because it's, you know, an individual using individual abilities, but still, he's got all of them, potentially. All of the characters themselves were styled as kind of relatively standard equipment, with 1 piece of good equipment that's given to each of them. For example, like, the Lombardia being given to Lands there, or the Euros being given to Canopus. You know, stuff that was technically... Okay, in the case of the Lombardia, it wasn't technically in March of the Black Queen, but, I mean, it's his. It's the prize that he gets for winning the war. Destin over there has a mace in one hand and the Brynhilder in another. You know, that kind of stuff. Because this is going for, like, canon route, I guess. So, I'm assuming most people didn't get Tristan or Norn or the Brynhilder especially. So, or the Brunhild, as it was originally called. But then over on the GOT team, like I was mentioning earlier, or like you can see right there. So like Arya comes in with a skull mask, is the whole faceless thing. The whole petrification breath is presumably poison or something, I don't know. It's just there. She's got some weird abilities. Comes in with like a fencing parry build, or with like Braun there was mentioning earlier, there's that one, you know, the Bay explosion, so he gets 1 use of that. Stat-wise, it's all stuff that was picked from the game, so none of this was like specifically hacked in. This is just like the only cheat I used is for generics to get unique classes. Other than that, this is all stuff that they would potentially be able to use, with one exception, which was on the FFT team, where there were 2 Chrono scales given to what's her face, Dragon Lady, what's her face? I don't remember her name right now. Slightly feeling a little bit brain dead. Reyes, there we go. So yeah, Reyes was given 2 Chrono scales, which would only be impossible because technically speaking, you can only ever get 1. Yeah, brain dead too. Yeah, it's one of those things. I don't deal with worms so well, so now it's suddenly worm out of nowhere. Suit doesn't help, lamp doesn't help. Doesn't matter. We're getting through this. So I might actually go in the shower real quick. Well, you go ahead and do that then, jeez. Go have all that fancy water type business. Oh, there's that Euros taking place. There we go. It's a one-time use thing. Oh well. There we go. Yeah, I figure that that hammer of Danny's was relatively similar to that kind of like whip mace kind of thing that she gets when she gets her army. And there we go. Going for his big AoE strikes and all that. So it's Meteor Strike instead of Ghosts. There wasn't anything that allowed him to attack a bunch of crap with Ghosts. Unfortunately. So yeah, who are you betting on? It's like if you were to place a bet between these 2 teams. Actually, so there was a... Okay, we got Tristan down. Okay, so HP-wise, March of the Black Queen's winning, but they're down a man right now. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I think Braun might be the one that makes a difference again. He almost won them that fight against X Division that one time, so it's very possible. Oh yeah, no, they're making some decisive moves right now. Making it all decisive and whatnot. Oh yeah, so there was an interesting video that had come out of, I want to say yesterday. Was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday or the day before. That was over by Fact Fiend there. And they were basically going on of like what kind of, you know, whether from movies or games or books or whatever else, like what swordsman would beat what swordsman, that kind of thing. And finally, by the end of it, it was just like, I think there was a guy from WoW that was basically like a traveling planet that technically stabbed the Earth with a sword or something. Like, so I went and listed a whole bunch of just random stuff that came to mind, but one of them that I had to put in there was like, technically speaking, this is kind of also the plot of like every Ogre battle game in a way, but specifically with the Brynhildr there, right? Because the whole time travel thing has to be taken by canon by this point, because technically, in March of the Black Queen, like, he's just collecting a bunch of cards, and it's like, okay, you can stop time and attack somebody like 12 times in a row. Like, what? Face reveal, I've had a faces for like a few weeks, man. But yeah, I got a face. It's all here and stuff. I know, it's okay. It's okay, you can cover your eyes. I know, it probably hurts. Oh well. So yeah, it was going on about this fictional swordsman competition thing there. But I was just thinking, so yeah, in March of the Black Queen, like they're basically saying like, okay, you know, you know, he can stop time, he can attack things a bunch of times with these tarot cards. He's just limited by these cards, basically. And then you've got a sword that can put away, you know, demons just kind of by, well, more or less functioning as a key. But then you go back to Lucht, right? Now we see your true colors. Okay, it's kind of like greenish over here, and it's kind of bluish over here, and I guess kind of beardly up here. You know, that kind of stuff. I know, I'm an old man. Everyone's was commenting and all that, like, oh man, you didn't sound like you're an old man. I know. Put me in a retirement home, right? Anyway, so by the end of Lucht, right? So they basically canonically confirmed that presumably those time travel powers are just linked to the Brynhildr and all that kind of thing. But yeah, so by the end of Lucht, it's confirmed that he can like go back to any point in time that he feels like. He can go and alter the past, but then, you know, accept or not accept whatever whatever comes up there. According to the whole chariot thing, he could technically undo his own death at any point without even being conscious. And technically speaking, as a sword that could put away whatever demonic entities are around, because that seems to be how they use it. They're just like, okay, I just need a seal over this thing. I guess we'll just just get it all gone, and suddenly poof, they're stuck in another dimension. It's like, well, I don't know. That seems like a pretty strong contender, is all I'm saying. Maybe they wouldn't win because they're still just a dude, but still. Like, by that point, they've probably got a Fire Crest, so they're nearly invincible. Like, they can't get debuffed anymore. They've got bonuses to every stat, including the fact that they're just absurdly lucky on top of everything. They've presumably got, like, the Brynhildr and the Ogre set. The Ogre set, pretty much is implied to just scare people so much they can't get healed anymore. And, yes, they're already strong, they're nigh invincible, and they've got time travel and a thing that can just put somebody into another dimension. It's like, they're probably a contender. But anyway, rant aside, how have you been, Blastgator? How's stuff been for you? Alright, so yeah. I don't know, this is still actually going pretty even. Going pretty even right now. Because there's definitely more recovery options available for Black Queen here, but there's more damage coming out of the Game of Thrones team. I still think Black Queen's got this one, though. As they're over here fighting for the North. Presumably. By the way, let me know if the crunching from these espresso beans is too loud. I can't tell if the crunch is coming through. crunch filler. Yep. See, last time, everybody was telling me that the crunch was not coming through. Now I'm even seeing it showing up on little bars, so that's got to be some pretty loud crunch. Sorry about that. I guess I'll go ahead and mute it for the rest of them. Got a good amount of them dailies. They're delicious. Anyhow, so what kind of story opening up? Or is that information that we're not privy to? It's a store of top secret secrets. They're too secret for anyone to look at. So you gotta pay up front and just assume that they automatically know what you need. Yeah, I think Norn might be the one that makes the difference in this fight. Because yeah, she's basically out of the main fray right now. They don't have too many archers on that team. Which I considered making Tyrion into an archer, because they can use one-handed crossbows as that class right now. So the Pumpkinhead Wardens got a whole bunch of interesting weapon options. But it was very clearly a two-handed crossbow, and I just kind of went... The first image that came to mind was that one scene where he gets trampled by all the hill tribes and everything. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what he's going to have to be built as. Speaking of, it's kind of surprising that he's still standing right now. Let's see, it's supposed to be a tournament venue / nostalgia paradise. Nice. Sounds like a fun place to be. But yeah, see, I think this looks pretty close to that, like as far as looking at his equipment. It wasn't meant to be derogatory that he's a pumpkin head, it just happened to work out really well, as far as everything. And he gets to attack people with pies. Oh, actually, Norn might not be the difference, because, yeah, he just healed a hell of a lot more than she did. Because he's the guy that always has a plan. But yeah, those places are fun. I always kind of wished I had one that I could actually go to. Ooh. Alright, speedrun Griffin just pretty much undid all that healing. So hoping you do some green screening today. Or hoping to do some green screening today. Awesome. So, how are you doing all that then? Like setting people up in different settings or some such? Like doing like a whole photo booth kind of thing? Or green screening in terms of some other context? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit brain dead today. Apologies. It's like one of those things where the entirety of the morning was spent just kind of dealing with all manner of chaos, and then right now it's just warm. It's just warm. But yeah, trying to wrap up the tournament here. I think most of the rest of the fights should be a good bit faster, because these are most of the big teams that are getting wiped now, and we might be able to go a little bit more than usual. See. Let's see. Got a tablecloth, but it's got to check the dude's software. I was just put up a sheet for never needing to do that kind of stuff. I was actually considering just doing like a whole green screen type thing here, but then just didn't. Also, what's funny is with a face reveal, you can also unface reveal and do that kind of thing, and it's, you know, it's all well and good. But then it's really hard to see, and then your eyes hurt, so maybe not so much. Never put on sunglasses while staring at a lamp. Anyway. Oh, one thing I should note as far as the AI is concerned. If you're wondering why Tyrion keeps running up and targeting a group and then not doing anything, it's because he's trying to use his, there's a pumpkin bomb ability, where he can target a pumpkin and basically make it explode. The thing is, though, there's no pumpkin for him to target, but he's still looking at it because it shows damage that he can do. So if the healing value on the pumpkin pie is higher, he'll use that. Otherwise, you know, there's that. Ultimately, I decided to leave him with it because there's a couple teams that actually make use of pumpkins, which would make that a pretty interesting turnaround move. Hello again, Sphera. Let's see. Told him he can key out the wall, but some people wear yellow or green. That's why I liked when I was trying to. Okay, so should take a step back here. way back in the day, I used to watch as my dad did a bunch of video stuff, like, we're talking over a decade ago, and would always try to figure out how to do stuff, which is like random stuff he could get on the cheap and all that kind of stuff. Lots of stuff in that sense. Anyhow. Oh wait, do I have a Discord or something? Kinda, sorta. I'm always on the SRPG Discord or the One Vision Discord, both of which are listed in the guide. So if you do ! Guide, it'll say NG plus Discord, and I'm pretty much always on the One Vision one. That and SRPG, and technically the Armored Core one, which I'm technically a mod of, though I'm a very bad mod of it, because I haven't really modded anything aside from that one time that a bunch of people spammed way too many memes, like 6 months ago. God, it's really been that long? Anyhow, I'm not very good at moderating the Armored Core one, but I'm technically on there sometimes. I don't know. Just, every time I try to do Armored Core stuff, just like all the people that were asking for specific runs or whatever else would never show up, and nobody ever looked at those things. And, like, I love Armored Core, it's just really disheartening when, you know, just nothing ever seems to happen. There never seems to be much interest in that, which is a real shame. I meant like your channel one. Not really. It's not really a big enough one to do the whole Discord thing. So usually just hang out around the SRPG one. But we discuss weird runs and all that on there. But yeah, no, the SRPG Discord is just fun in general, though. Like, it's a nice place. I don't remember if I have it saved in the commands. Let me check real quick. Excuse the random shaking. I promise it's not an earthquake. Let's go up here. Everything's gonna lag for a moment. The Streamlabs decides if it's gonna explode or not. Yeah, by the way, this was all supposed to be happening this morning, but then Streamlabs was just like, no, I'm a die instead. So, no luck there. Yeah, I for some reason it won't come up. I don't want to mess with it for fear of, you know, more of this morning, so yeah. You know what? Hang on. I know that you're the SRPG Discord link is actually on the Tactics Ogre Reddit link. Yeah, there's a SRPG Reddit and an SRPG Discord. So yeah, that link is on there. So you mind if I whisper Knun's trailer link? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, because I saw your... I was just thinking, because I just saw your comment earlier this morning on the release of 93. Which, by the way, Blasticator, did you see? Version 93 came out. So that's pretty dang awesome. Yeah, but it's a really nice one. I'm really loving how Chapter 1 feels right now. So it's like the first experimental change of all the different formations. Well, not technically formations, but a lot of the units and stuff like that for Chapter 1. Interesting thing, by the way. He tried to change what classes some of them were and what overall templates and stuff like that they used. The unfortunate thing is, there's some things that can't be changed, and that's one of them. It turns out when he tried changing like what a unit looked like in story, like if he tried to change one particular instance as opposed to changing the entirety of, you know, whatever it was. Like for example, if he changes, what's his face? So was it Hector? Yeah. So Hector shows up several times, but so he changed all of his instances to look different. But for example, there's one that's I think it's like Footman Alessandro or something like that. One of the early game bosses, and he tried to change the way that he looked, and unfortunately, it caused a whole bunch of bugs all over the dang place. Since the game just is allergic to changes in the most random times. So ultimately, yeah, that whole plan ended up having to be scrapped. He ended up having to undo a bunch of stuff. Such is life. Okay, so we got 4 still standing on the March of the Black Queen team. Warren's somehow still here. He's usually the first to go down. Ash and Land's getting a little bit taken down here, and Destin's still doing the best he can. They lost their Griffin. Let's see. Snow's almost down. Tyrion's almost down. Jamie's still doing well. Danny's almost down. Alessandra's usually good at staying out of the fight. Yeah, Braun's doing great, and then their Dragon's about halfway down. So, yeah, it looks like they've turned it around. They've done it real good. See, like how John Sprite is the most generic one imaginable? At least he figured out how to wear a helmet. By the way, funny note, it's not that he wasn't supposed to wear a helmet in the story. I forget if anybody mentions if he wears a helmet in the story. Oh yeah, that pumpkin pie just turned it around. There's no chance anymore. Yeah. That's it. So GOT took it. Always Tyrion with the turnaround. He's the one that like brought in the extra help and turned it around. And that's why he's made that way. Like most of the time he's not much help, but then at random he can just turn the fight around. But yeah, apparently the whole reason he never wears a hat or a helmet or whatever else is because for the showrunners, they specifically noticed that his hair looked less crappy if they gave him a helmet. So yeah, like we need him to have those flowing locks going crazy all over the place all the time. Otherwise, we just won't have the character, kind of thing. Let's see, it's is there a turtle stew that poisons enemies? Man. Yeah, we're rewatching. The wife and I are rewatching GOT now. We're like just getting to the point where Ramsey's still technically a good guy. Like where it looks like, you know, Theon's the main bad guy. Like came in, took the castle and everything. Like, oh man, what a douche! No one can possibly be worse than that. He's over there betraying children. And then that guy comes in. So he took a real wild, wait, what? Took a real wild turn real fast there? Yeah, dude. That was I think probably one of the biggest show U-turns I've ever seen. Like, that dude went from, you know, okay, fine, he's giving this guy what he deserved. Like, oh wait, he's giving him more than he deserved. Oh wait, this is going to some uncomfortable places. Oh god, we've gone way past uncomfortable now. And then he just, like, basically wipes out half the friggin' cast. Ah, man. That dude, though. Yeah, dick in a box. So many dick in a box memes after that. That episode, though. That episode. Oh no. Oh no. Well, at the very least, we can have a concerned Warren face here. Let's get that in here. It's gonna lag a little bit, but I don't care. I need that concerned Warren face. Oh yeah, by the way, I was mentioning it earlier. I don't know if you were here, but Vita stuff is possible now too. So in the future, if I can figure out how to get the sound working, I wanted to actually like do OV runs off of the Vita rather than emulator, because then it'll end up looking a lot nicer. It has some little visual changes that it does that makes the game look all nice and everything. The only downside is the sound has some issues. Namely, the way you have to use the sound through an audio jack, which this computer only has one audio jack. Has a combined one, and I can't use two mics at the same time without the right kinds of splitters. So I'm gonna have to go get some of those, and then, yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So yeah. If I can get it done properly, hopefully, I have a ferrite bead somewhere here. Basically, need to use that in order to make sure to get this little kind of. It just basically has this white noise that comes with the sound. So I was able to identify it by that. So at least I could get it running. I just haven't gotten it running properly yet. But the nice thing is, then yeah, we shouldn't have any lag anymore. It should look nicer, and hopefully, it should be a lot easier. Plus, we shouldn't have any weird controller jank or anything. Plus, it's just a lot easier to find the cheat codes using CW cheats as opposed to using PPSSBP, because you can just scroll through the list very, very quickly. But actually implementing cheats for really specific runs is a lot more difficult, though, because you have to update the entire database, so you gotta just like go and reassemble the friggin' thing. It's a problem. Is a real problem. It's not exactly the most convenient way, but it's not like anybody's really updated it either, because it works just fine, and it's for the PSP, and who still does stuff for the PSP, etc. Oh well. Technically it does the job, so nobody needs to fix it. So yeah, after this fight, what do you guys want to see? Sorry about that, didn't mean to slap the mic. Because I'm thinking... Surprise us? Let's see. I'm thinking Phantasy Star 4 versus Vandal Hearts. We've got one team with a whole ton of abilities on their side. We got another team with numbers on their side. I need a slap filter. Nothing. I slapped myself. No filter happened. I'm sorry. Doesn't work. Must be broken or something. Needs an update. Oof. Warren just got 8. Goodbye, Warren. Alright, well, unfortunately, that's March of the Black Queen. Taken out. No! Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's see. I kind of want to see Phantasy Star 4 versus Xenonauts. Like, versus the remade Xenonauts. Actually, no. You know what? We need a rematch. Xenonauts versus FFT. That's what we're gonna do. The rematch. The grudge match. See, no, not your face. Well, I don't know. Maybe my face deserved it or something. I don't know. Alright. Then remade X Division. So yeah, how they got remade now, they're all made to try and match their game a little bit better. So before they had the Ogre Shield and Ice Chain, which, you know, it looked like their uniform a bit more, but in this case, yeah, this is more fitting for a team of rookies, because that's what this was supposed to be. So over here you got the Stun Baton guys, over here you got the Pistol and Shield guys, over here you have the Riflemen, over here you have the Heavy Gunners, and then, you know, you've got a Humvee over here, as well as some more Heavy Gunners over here. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this off. So they still come in with a ton of like big AoE, you know, punchy type moves. So all their offense is exactly as it was. It's just that their defense was unreasonably high. I don't know why they were able to survive so well, because, like I said, in testing, they consistently lost to this team. This is why I'm convinced that FFT will probably be able to beat them here. Although, yeah, they've got the high ground. Man, they took the dang high ground. Xdiv over here with all their strategies. Actually, yeah, they might cut them down before they even get close. This is now the Xenonaut Fortress. This is a base raid by the FFT team. They went back in time like, okay, we're going to set up HQ in this old castle. It's just like the FFT team came in a pod. Except, like, instead of the pod attached to the map, it was like a crappy old wagon. Oh, man. But yeah, so the FFT team is a mix of the Cerebro mod and the original game. So that's why Rad over there is a zombie, as well as a Dragoon, as well as why Ramza is a double hammer build, which you didn't really see a whole lot of in the original. But yeah, just had real fun with those two builds. Which, by the way, after the AI run, that one's probably going to take a while. But after the AI run, I was wanting to do a challenge run of the Cerebro mod. So we'll take a brief moment away from Tactics Ogre for like a week in order to do that challenge. Because I'm probably going to do like 1 week of like Tactics Ogre time to do those ones, and then we're going to make it like a weekly thing after that. Because I think I was going to do a monster run. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, so there's Gafgarian. There's Rad. Also, I have to say, that's the first time I've ever seen the AI use Mind Blast. So I guess they can use it after all. How about that? How about that? Now I just have to see if they ever actually use the Dragon Slayer from the Dragon Slayer set. Like, it almost makes me wonder if all the different classes maybe have different stuff that their AI is technically allowed to do. Like, I think the way to test that, because I've never seen the AI use the Dragon Slayer set, is potentially, if I don't give Dragon Slayer to a Dragoon, but I give him the set, I wonder if he'll actually go and use it. Don't know. There's a lot that's still completely unknown as far as this game's AI goes. Like, I've been trying to figure it out for quite a long while now. Figured out a few small details, but nothing too major. Nothing too major. And if you're wondering why they get so many big AoE moves, if you weren't here for the previous one, the thing with the Xenonauts is that in that game you rely a ton on grenades. So they each have at least one big, grenade-type move. So like the ones that come in with the fire maces. Did I update? No, I didn't. I forgot to give them their Ember Wakes. Whatever. They're still using the Vajras, which I guess technically just give them a buff? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Doesn't matter, it's fine. It's fine. They lost their overpowered incendiary grenades. Got brought down to earth a little bit. As is fitting, because they keep getting shot down all the time. Which is why they get to repair their planes for free. Which is kind of funny, because for all the amazingly grounded stuff that game tries to do, the free airplane repairs are probably the most unrealistic thing about it. It's like, yeah, that would probably cost more than just building a new airplane, to be fair. Alright. Alright. Like, especially like the crazy space planes and stuff like that. No, wait, they do have... No, that's him. That's him that has the Ember Wakes. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, the Caleb Gold, trying to be a stasis blade. Oh, and yeah, if you weren't aware before, like I feel like I have to mention this every single time. Technically speaking, Olin does have a galaxy stop. The problem is that the AI right now has no functional way to actually use it. So if he got up to 200, once he gets up to 200 AP or TP, he's probably going to continue to try to use it, but he won't be able to. It's kind of annoying when that happens, but again, it's just one of those things that there's not really much that can be done about it. This team probably would have been really overpowered if he actually could use it, to be fair. But you know, maybe someday. Maybe someday they'll be able to. Still could be anyone's game. The FFT team has taken a ton of damage, but they're able to survive those hits pretty well. Not to mention they're actually starting to take units out, so that's never happened before. The closest they've gotten was actually against the GOT team, wherein they started getting really close, and then the AI decided to do some really dumb stuff, and then they just basically threw the fight. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think they've actually got this one. I think Xenonauts is getting brought down to earth. How about that? Good. Everything is as it should be. Then I think after this we can do FFT versus Game of Thrones. Just because, yeah, there's no particular order. This is just a complete brawl up until where you don't have anyone left. That's how we're doing this. Alright, so the Hunter trying to make some progress, but not really doing it. Agres just got taken out. Dagar coming in. Hopefully he actually remembers to use his dialogue this time. Actually, he won't, because I don't know if I remember to actually update his dialogue. Oh well. Oh well. He's supposed to say Private Dagar has fallen. The joke being that during the XDiv run, he personally got killed off so many times. It was just comical. I kept feeling bad because he would keep getting a character, and it was, you know, it was all well and good. He was a big part of the community over there and everything. And then he just shows up, just gets randomly shot in the face. Like, in one case, just a shot completely misses 3 other characters, flies around a wall, and just insta-kills him. It's like, man, really? Another time, just a shot once again completely whiffs and just takes him out, and while he's still in the helicopter. Another time he takes one step out and just takes a rocket to the face. Oh man, another one, he just got hired, he just got renamed, and then the base got blown up. I mean, like, just the poor guy could not catch a break. So, had to be done. Had to be done. Yeah, the XDiv team is definitely taking a loss here. I don't think they can actually come back from all that. Like, there's 2 down here. Let's see, we lost Olin, but yeah, no. No, it's safe to call it at this point. They would have to pull a friggin' miracle to be able to pull it back from this. Oh, there we go. That's the right choice. Okay, so he's going for one of those big area moves. Just went for a spray fire in that direction. Gotta go over there and suppress that griffin. Oh man, that needs to be, you know what, that needs to be a thing. It's like have like the Tactics Ogre XCOM crossover. It's like have somebody do an area suppression on stuff. It's like you never hear about suppressing fire on griffins. I guess. Okay, a book I read recently kind of sort of had that. All right, fair enough. That zombie's in pretty rough shape right now. Alright, still trying. I mean, they're gonna get a few extra shots just because they're really good positioning. It's one of the reasons I decided not to give them Barricade, because the AI really knows how to use Barricade. Like, at least in some maps. No, Elxanthus. At least he didn't get shot in the back of the head this time. Yeah, that was another weird tragedy from that whole run. There was just one character that no matter what he did, he kept taking out his own guys. Didn't even matter how unlikely the shot was. It's like, oh, nope. There's a dude like 3 feet over there. Whoops, I just fired way off to the left and took out the top member of my team. What a weird mistake. I'm totally not a traitor. So yeah. For, I don't know if it's poor or horrible comb-over, the filthy traitor. Right, they're kind of trying a comeback. Depends on if this hits or not. Now that hit, so that's one more attack they're not getting. He's just there with his stun baton trying to take out Knight. Trying to take out Delita. I went artwork of that. Don't suppose anyone here's an artist. Like a Xenonauts rookie with his riot shield and baton. It's like in an epic sword fight against Delita. It'd be great. If only, right? Like, I'm hoping at some point in the future we'll get to the point where you have software that just can instantly project what you're thinking into artwork, and, well, that would suck for artists. Man, that would result into a lot of really amusing stuff. But that being said, I will say, we've been to a few craft fairs over the course of the last few years. There's always one guy just, like, sitting off in the corner. Not the same guy, mind you. It's just, there always seems to be one guy just sitting off in the background. It's like, I will draw whatever for you, and then just, like, a bunch of just, like, random sketches that he put together and all that, and he's charging, like, $150 per sketch. It's like, man, wish I could draw something on a piece of paper and make that kind of money, because that's pretty decent if anyone shows up and does that. I mean, I guess all they would need is one, and it was already worth a visit. But then almost every time it seems like they ran off being all upset, so... I'm assuming it didn't go too well. But more power to him for trying, I suppose. Hi there, Mr. Vale. Let's see, did you put a suit and put on a suit stream tactics over? I did. Because 0.93 is out today. And that's the rule, I gotta put on the suit every time a new update comes out. That's how it goes. That's how we do things. So yeah, it's definitely way too warm for a suit, I will say that much. So, a little bit on the brain dead side today, and I got my watch caught in my mic. Alright, you sit over there, controller. Thank you very much. And okay. There we go. I'm free! But okay then. So yeah, we're doing pretty okay here. After March of the Black Queen pulled that big upset and took out OV64 last time, then they themselves got taken out by Game of Thrones. Let's see, Sekiro got taken out by Dark Souls, XCOM got taken out by Pokemon, and then Knight of Lodis got taken out by... What the hell took them out again? Oh yeah, FF4, or I guess FF 4/6/whatever ended up taking out Knight of Lodis. So yeah, there've actually been a few dramatic turnarounds so far. Because like Knight of Lodis was winning that one up until like the last minute. At some point, somebody must have done something because it just completely spun around. March of the Black Queen similarly was winning pretty well, and then I think it was Braun that turned that one around, just because that's what he does. And yeah, so we're mostly seeing some shorter ones left. So any fights that you want to see today, Mr. Vale? Since I'm assuming the ones that have been consistent favorites are kind of gone, so maybe, I don't know, maybe not the most ideal thing to start off on. Oh yeah, Xenonauts is getting taken down a peg here, as you can probably tell. I think they're doing that, right? Yeah, they've only got 2 guys left. There's only Bertram here and the Hunter. So yeah, finally they're down to where they should be. Go ahead and mark them down with a yellow. They're about to take their loss. See, nope, just checking in. Sarah didn't believe that you stream suit and tie, so I wanted to use this one video to try and make it seem like you always do. Oh, well, I mean, I can always do that in a suit and tie. I mean, to be fair, I did suggest doing that a while ago. I've got enough suits to go through. Because, yeah, I used to travel on business a good bit, so I still have my old suits. Most of which, they don't fit too well, but above this area they fit well enough that I can get away with it. So, you know what? For the AI run, I think we're just going to go with the old sailing suit that I got. I wish I had the Chinese suit that I had worn for my brother's wedding. Man, that, like, the Mandarin suits, they're expensive as crap to get. And just renting it was like 150 friggin' bucks, but man, that mess was snazzy. That's probably my favorite suit ever, but unfortunately, yeah, they're a bit expensive to get a hold of. So that cramp ain't gonna happen, but oh well. Alright. Yeah, Ramza, I don't think there's any need for you to keep on healing here. Oh, and yeah, Mr. Vale, so, I didn't mention it earlier. I don't think I told you earlier, but yeah, on Monday I'm planning to do the AI run. So the idea is to beat the entirety of this using only all the characters set to AI, so they can be given very vague AI commands, a la something like March of the Black Queen. But yeah, the only character I can directly control is going to be Denim, largely because I want an excuse to make a zombie army. So we'll see how that goes. We will see. And yeah, same old rule set of no save, no chariot. So that should be fun. But yeah. So, you know what, I'll put it up to a vote. Who thinks I should stick to suits for the rest of these? I mean, I guess while I'm already getting the rest of the setup going, I might as well, right? Look at the more respectable. Though I guess for some of them I'd be wearing ties instead of my bola. I like this thing. It's nice. Like, in the South, they just really haven't figured out with these things. Because, yeah, with a tie, you gotta go through all the effort, tie it a few times, you know, make sure everything's just right. With this one, you know what you do? It's just like a little clasp on the back here. You just undo it, and then you slide the thing, and it's just like a little string, and you just go like this. And then the only adjustment for whether it's a guy or girl wearing one of these is this. Because you got the 2 spikes on the end, which I don't know if this is true. My old Tungsten Master that had actually introduced me to how I'm supposed to wear one of these basically said, like, yeah, if you're a guy, one hangs lower than the other. See if you can figure it out. How do you put it? It's like guys have one thing that hangs lower than the other. Girls have 2 things that hang evenly. You figure it out. I think was how he put it. Anyway, let's see. As long as they're not birthday related, Sarah's vote. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. That no one needs eye bleach. We're no birthday suits. But yeah, like I got my old like very much assistant suit, like the standard tan kind of situation. Got my old gray sailing suit. I never actually went sailing in the thing, except for like one time in Florida. But whatever, looks fancy enough. Actually, that one is worn with a turtleneck instead of a tie. Then I just need to find. Crap, that means I gotta wear a turtleneck and the dang some. Whatever. Do it for the people! And yeah, then I actually technically I'm up to 5 now, aren't I? Because I had the other one that I got for free. Because I got that Mormon one, or at least one that was supposed to blend in with the Mormons. It's a long story. Anywho, so that's the Xenonauts done. So who are we doing next then? Let's do Grandia versus Secret of Mana, I think. Those seem like two that are teams. Unless anybody's got any other requests that they want to see done. Alright, where are you, Secret of Mana? Secret of Mana? There we go. I think SOM's got this one, but we'll see. We've definitely seen a lot more losing than we've seen winning over the course of this run, so... or the course of this tournament, in terms of there's always one that dramatically lost rather than one that dramatically won, except for some of them this time. Like, for example, where GOT, like, they pulled a pretty amazing comeback there. I guess FFT made a comeback, though. To be fair, Xeno got nerfed. What was it? Yeah, Souls vs. Sekiro was kind of a one-sided curb stomp. What else was it? I guess, yeah, Pokemon did real well against XCOM, so there's that. So there's that. Alrighty. Yeah, we can just pretend the whole... Yeah, let's actually not. I was gonna say we can pretend that the whole suit thing is somehow related to next year, but I'd prefer nothing to be related to next year, because... Man, that mess is gonna get dirty. Yeah, we got some weird election crap going on over the course of the next few years. Because, like, right now, okay, so there's a French election going on right now. I know, weird thing, right? Weirdly enough, apparently part of France is trying to do the same thing that screwed over the UK, in which they're trying to leave Europe. So apparently just Europe is fragmenting all over the place. For reasons seemingly no better than everybody's just really proud, I guess. I don't know. It's the same old that's been going on there for a few years now, but it's I don't understand how there isn't more, I don't know, logic, I guess? It seems like every time that it happens, it's like, okay, so they left. Basically they just got rid of allies. They're not really getting anything new out of it. It turns out all of those numbers for, oh man, we're gonna save all this money by not trading with people. It turns out, yeah, that's not how that works, ever. So, that's not going too hot, seemingly. But yeah, then we're gonna have one. And it's funny, because finally, out of nowhere, we got one guy that might actually, I don't know, reasonably win? Or at least seems likable? Or, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to say. It's weird to say. Like, with our whole election thing, it's, how do I even put it? Because technically everyone's got different reasons to be likable, but most of them probably don't have enough of an appeal to enough, like, groups of people to actually get anywhere. I don't know. I just know it's looking real bad, one way or another. It's gonna suck. Next year's probably gonna suck. Let's just put it that way. Like, when it's over, I'm sure everything will be better, but it's just gonna be a real, just sucky year. Because I guarantee you, like, every 5 seconds, there'll be ads popping up all over friggin' YouTube, or Facebook, or whatever else, of a certain someone's face, like, talking about how everybody in the world is worse than them, and they just don't disappear. Please, just go away. Like, do you guys get those ads? Out of curiosity, like, is it just because of the search history thing? Because I cannot escape those dang ads. It's really annoying. Like, I just feel like every single, like, anything I click on for work, anything I click on for entertainment, anything I'm, like, life asks to go look for new stuff on houses or something like that. Nope. There's his friggin' face, again. Doesn't matter how unrelated. So go, you're watching a thing on Mortal Kombat. Well, I guess you clearly want to see this dude's face. Oh my goodness, why? Why? This is ridiculous. Man, I tried to look at one random house on some random site I found online, trying to see if anything's changed as far as our our whole housing market around here. I have gotten, what's it, like 13, somewhere between like 13 to 15 phone calls, like 20 texts, a crap ton of emails, and I never even filled out the form. I accidentally hit autofill on one form, never even submitted it. I exited out of the page, didn't even matter. They have just been swarming my phone like, would you like credit repair? Would you like credit repair? Would you like credit repair? We promise we have all these houses everywhere. Oh, would you like credit? No, stop! I didn't even fill it out. Oh, man. See, it's crazy to think that it's been 20 years since 2000. What do you think 2020 would be like? Mega Man X is? I thought by the time we got to 2020, we'd have at least some low-tier version of hover cars, that we'd have shiny buildings everywhere, which I guess we kind of have that. Figured the internet would take over, which, yeah, I guess that has. Yeah, that's gotten way more corporate, as one would expect. I was expecting to, well, still have a business by this point, but, you know, you make do, you make do. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see the hover cars thing. Also, was expecting somebody older than the age of 5 to maybe be running the country. At least, like, mentally older than the age of 5. But aside from that, yeah, you know, it goes how it goes. Alright, let's see how this fight's actually doing. We got, yeah, 5 still standing on this team. Yeah, no. Grandia is getting wiped. Grandia is getting very well wiped. We'll just go ahead and mark that as done. I can pretty much guarantee that right now. They're beyond the point of coming back. Alright. Sorry, Grandia. You're out. I guess I would have expected... Yeah, no. I think most of what 2020 would be is kind of what I would have expected it to be, really. Because, I mean, we got mostly, like, aside from the cars and the buildings, everything else has been updated to a really fancy degree. We have all the fancy Star Trek pads everywhere. Hell, we've got like 3 in the house, so that's always nice. Let's see, on a scale of invented the wheel to hover cars, how close do we come to your vision? We do have self-driving cars, that's something. Again, I think we're really close aside from the whole hover car thing, because, like, specifically my vision of that comes from those cars in iRobot. You know, the ones that are, well, we have self-driving cars, but the ones that are kind of like self-driving and they also kind of hover. I don't think that, did they even hover? I might be remembering that completely wrong. Who's seen iRobot anytime in the last decade? Let me know, did they actually hover? Because, yeah, in that case, we might be 100% of the way there. I mean, aside from that, like, anything that I would have wanted out of 2020's here, like I said, we got the fancy Star Trek computer pads. We basically can play any system on any device. Can combine anything with almost anything with enough ingenuity. People can project whatever they need to project to a pretty much worldwide audience. If somebody, well, I guess I would have expected that to be a bit more helpful as far as, you know, small sales, I guess. See, nobody has. You were the only viewer. That's why they didn't have any sequels called Eurobot. But it had Will Smith in it. I had to see it. Yeah, whatever. You know what? I hope Aladdin turns out awesome, because I really want Will Smith to actually do something good again. That dude was like a friggin' childhood hero there. I want stuff to work out for him. See, Sarah says Siri is a lot like when they say computer and ask a question in Star Trek. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. That's why my when my wife had an iPhone, she would always rub that in my face. Though I guess well, they tried to call it Cortana, but all the different computer and phone versions are the same thing too, I guess. But yeah, she would always run around with that thing. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're over there googling something." It's like, "Hey Siri, go find me this." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then, you know, it would completely misunderstand what she said and look up the wrong thing. By which point I'm done, you know, typing it into my phone. Like, this is why I don't use voice commands. All right, there we go. There we go. Grandia just got grandly wiped. I think next we'll do FF8 versus Ease 8, Battle of the Eights. There we go. And yes, Farwa, if you're still here, here is the build for FF8. As you may remember, gunblades are a thing now, so Squall is looking a bit more jungly than before, but whatever, that's fine. That's fine, and the Kumbir is picked for Seifer because it's also kind of sort of a gunblade. Close enough. And then, what was the other one there? 8, Ease 8, where's Ease 8? There's Ease 8. Never played 8? That does say 8, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. It's pretty alright. I guess 8 is one of those ones that's got a really interesting beginning, and then by the end of it, they smoke way too much crack, and then it just falls off the rail. Like, I think my favorite theory is one that a lot of people subscribe to, that for FF8, the main character and the entire cast actually died at the end of the first chapter. Heading to bed now? Alright, well, you sleep well. You have yourself a good one. Enjoy what limited moments of consciousness are left, and yeah. We'll see you whenever we see you. Still waiting on that run that you were doing, by the way. Oh, thank you for the hosts. Greatly appreciate it. By the way, apparently, I think it said like 13 people have to subscribe to change that zombie into something else. Like, I wanted to change that zombie into just Lance marching. Like, or Alphonse, I guess he technically was at that point. Something like that. But, can't do so just yet. Because you gotta unlock all those features by making Twitch money, I guess. Like, no, you haven't given Amazon enough. They demand tribute. Let's see, most likely stream some Conzero tomorrow around this time. Alright, sounds about good. Yeah, around this time should be perfect, actually, because then should be going around doing some chores and all that kind of business. Hopefully 0.93 the day after. Baller. Yeah, we should be doing all kinds of chores and that kind of thing, so I should be able to catch up while having my phone in my pocket. That's always fun. Yeah, anybody ever do that whole thing, like, where you still gotta do stuff, but you want to try to catch up on things, so you got, like, your headphones on, you got, like, your arm phone strapped to your arm, so they're, like, using the thing like a Pip-Boy or something like that. Just, like, kind of roll your sleeve up into a pocket and just bind the other half there. You can't see everything, but still works out pretty okay. That's when you learn some of those weird multitasking tricks. Okay. Just worried for a second. We've kind of accidentally doubled our doggos. By which I mean we had some relatives that went on vacation, so we're watching their dog as well. There's just a storm of dogs, one of whom loves to bark at people. Suddenly got up like he was about to. And I mean, like, really loves, like, I mean... Like, okay, the puppy I was training, you know, he's iffy about it sometimes. Like, you know, somebody will walk around outside, he'll see them through the window, he's like, oh my god, you know, intruders. This guy will bark at somebody a house over, just walk between two bedrooms. I know, oh my gosh, there's people everywhere. Can't do anything about it. Everyone needs to run. Alright, so between these two, hell, who's even fighting here? Ease and FF8? I'm gonna say FF8, probably, between the two of them. I know Ease had some pretty strong moves on them. Like, I know that they had one of the stronger gunners in the entire fight. Their numbers are vaguely equal. Just typically, the simpler a team is, the more stuff they did. Or the more progress they generally made. There we go. That's a shame. That's a dang shame. And yeah, I mentioned this the last couple times, but the guy that's currently taking a nap over there, he's the one that was specifically requested to have included in this team, since apparently he's technically not supposed to be in this team, but he was just a fan favorite. So there's all that. As in, like, 8 was the one game that he wasn't in. So well. But yeah, I think FF8's just generally got a lot more punch to them. At least in terms of area abilities and that kind of thing. I'm not sure where she decided to hit herself. I think that might have been a reflect or something. Not sure. Just gonna take out all the sin. Almost got taken out by Selfie. And I will be right back. Alrighty, and we're back. Alright, have they won yet? No, it's still going back and forth. And very strongly back and forth, in fact. Just took a hammer to the back of the head. Yeah, you know what? They just really racked up the body count on both sides here. Jeez. Alright, so who's winning it now? Okay, we got 5 left on one, 3 left on another. Definitely seems like it's going to FF8. Yeah, these guys are generally in rough shape. They've got 2 they're doing real well. They could still pull it back. That definitely doesn't help matters. Though realistically, they should be pressing the advantage right now because they've got more health. There we go. Yeah, they're all giving and taking about as much, about the same. Roughly, anyway. I don't know, there's something about that particular hammer, the Vajra, that always kind of cracks me up. It's just so weirdly, I don't know, purple. It's just weird that it's so purple. It looks just like one of the ones from FFT, or FFTA, rather. It's so purple. And yeah, I think that was the deciding factor right there. Wait a minute. No, that wasn't the deciding thing. I thought, Wait. Who the hell is that with a whip? Oh, I forgot they had a whip user. Okay. No, actually, yeah, they might be able to turn it around. Because technically 3v3 right now. With... yeah. Alright, they might still pull it back. We'll see. See, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. That crit right there might do it, though. No, those two have been having a little bit of a rivalry for the last few rounds. Alright, she goes for the heal instead of taking out the sailor. He goes for the shank, doesn't get the shackle. Seem to be going real heavy on the shackling there. Yeah, no. I think this is going to FF8 still. Especially because he keeps recovering. He's just barely survived multiple times. But just in general, they've got more stuff going on for them. So, what's that ability he's got on? Because I could have sworn it was double attack, but he's clearly not doing that. Reflection? How the hell did he get reflection? Was Adia handing out reflections? Is that what that is? Maybe. I think that's one of her abilities. I know they all had a pretty random selection of different casts that they had available to them. That was intentional, just, you know, because of how the game functions. Yeah, they got this. They definitely got this. Epic whip duel on top of a tiny cottage. Exactly what you come by to see. Alright, 2v2. Or, actually, no, wait. Is it 3v2 the other way now? No, it's still the same way. So, Quista, Selfie, and Squalor still left on their respective team. Got Alexia and Ricotta, I think it was, on the other one. Squish. Yeah, she does not. She just refuses to go down. Okay, kind of a waste of that move, but alrighty then. And they've only got one unit left. She would have to pull off some absolute miracle to pull this off. Alright, never mind, there he goes, so it's 1v2. If she, I don't know, if she pulls off like 3 or 4 dodges in a row, maybe. Nope, that's it. She would have had to parry it. I don't think she even has parry. So there we go. That's the end of that one. So yeah, it was a good fight. But such is life. Moving on to the next one. So next up, let's say Wild Arms versus SMRPG, I think. Where on earth were they? Oh, there it is. Alright. Well, this one should be relatively quick. Dang. 4 more emails since the last time I was saying that there were too many credit emails. Ah, no, my credit is garbage, but still. How'd you even know that with only my name? Alright. Hell, I didn't even submit it. So, I'm gonna say between these two, if I were to guess... If I were to guess, my money would be on SMRPG. Well, actually, we'll see in the first few rounds. If Gino gets all of his hits off, then I would say it's an SMRPG score, despite the fact that they technically have fewer characters. Just because he's got the big boom moves at the very start. He's got the friggin' raw damage, but if he gets taken out, like all the ones that have had ranged options or whatever else, SMRPG had no chance against. If they have a chance to close in using all those, then they've got a pretty decent shot. That's why I didn't, there was potentially the option of just putting in a bunch of random toads or something. It's like, give them void rings and nothing else, just let them charge in. Charge in as really crappy ground troops or something, but yeah, no. The way that they're supposed to work is Geno runs in, he starts using his use items, he gets a ton of damage off, then they get finished off by the two frontliners, so Mallow and Mario follow up. They essentially need to follow up on that, and everybody else supports, so, Peach back there runs up and heals, you got Bowser coming in with, like, follow-up damage and all that kind of thing, so they've got an okay setup, they just don't have the numbers in a lot of cases. Especially with the Edelbus. Alright, he's missing all his hits, so that's not going to help him out very much. He's going for his lightning moves, so that one's Mallow. Yeah, Spear. Actually, wait, I was going to say... I was going to explain the team to Spear, but they already went to sleep. It's too late to explain. Oh well. So, anybody else got any requests that they want to see? You still around here, Vale? Oh, wait a second. I just noticed I missed your dang text. Let's see, what about in terms of social issues? Amazon 2020, you can order anything and have it arrive the same day. Amazon 2020, a monopoly that takes advantage of its workers. Inevitably, everything good will have something that takes advantage of its workers. Like, how many years did Musk spend as like a hero of the people and all that kind of thing? And then it turns out that they were exploiting people, and then he started getting really weird on Twitter, and like eventually the curtain falls off of anything like that, you know? It's just with pretty much. Okay, I shouldn't say pretty much none, but with only very rare exceptions have there have been cases where somebody actually, got to that that level without having something else wrong with them. So, all that kind of thing. That's weirdly depressing. Now that I think about it, it's weirdly depressing. But that's life for you. Okay. Alright, they can't afford that loss. Yeah, so this is definitely going to Wild Arms. They're already overwhelming. Man, I was really hoping, considering how many people absolutely adored that game, that they'd get at least one win. So far, no luck on that front. Although I am going to have... for the next round, I'm going to have Xenonauts fight Avalon. Just to see if their new nerfed version, if they can still take on one guy. Actually, they totally can. It's not even a contest. There's no way he would stand any chance whatsoever, but I can't... Right now, I can't think of any team that Avalon would even have a chance against to even get a win. Like... I don't know. Maybe Live a Live? Probably not, because they did pretty well. I don't know. I don't even know if anyone's here still. Maybe Breath of Fire 3? I think we'll do Avalon versus Breath of Fire 3. By the way, the guy that made Avalon is putting out even more music on a regular basis. Hi there, Tanaka. How you doing? Any fights that you want to see? Because anything that's not marked as red is fair game. Everybody's taking a loss at this point. There's no longer a winner's bracket. Everyone's just losing to survive. Or not losing to survive. There we go. There we go. It's just a big old mosh pit. It's the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Then again, you know what? Let's see. Avalon versus RuneScape. I think they can do it. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can do that. Feels like the kind of matchup that actually makes a lot of sense out of it. You make good points, and I like your points. Alright, now to mute it real quick so I can crunch on some espresso beans. You know what? I just got a really interesting idea. One day, we need to have a tournament, right? We need to have a tournament in which each person can only submit a 4-person team of only monks. And just see if anybody can ever win that. We just have this 4v4 fight that goes on for like 8 straight hours. Sounds like a great idea with no problems. Or, I guess just a 4-man team of anything, really. Because I can't really think of any one class that would potentially dominate that. Because it's one of those things where it's good to have a support. Wait. Wait. Makes sense, yes. Not so much the monks. Yeah. Yeah. Still, 4v4, yeah. Because if somebody brought 4 monks into a 4v4, they would just get overwhelmed because they'd have no offense. That's, oftentimes when monks are mentioned as overpowered, it's like that they haven't tried actually overpowering them. It's like, yeah, they can recover real good, but all it takes is like 1 or 2 real good, or 2 or 3 real good hits, and they go flat like everybody else. It's not necessarily that they can't be stopped. It's gotta strategize. They actually are kind of a weak link in the party if you think about it that way. Like, despite the fact that they're way stronger than they were before, it's just if they rely on them, that's that's basically one character that's not throwing out damage. So, like, when I was thinking about the AI run, specifically, I was thinking probably not even having a, maybe, like, 1 cleric on the team. But realistically, what made more sense was, rather than clerics, just, in Chapter 1, get the Necromancer, get Living Corpse, and just basically have half the team just be zombies. And then just, like, always have those zombies up in the front line. They probably won't be very good. They still technically learn weapon skills. As long as they've got their original weapon skills, they're alright. And then, yeah, you just basically keep on building on that. You just have these zombies carry in as many fights as they can. If they become obsolete, or they get exercised, whatever, they were still doing damage up at that point. Interestingly enough, you can still technically transfer zombies, though I think I haven't allowed transfers in any of those runs so far. But it's just an interesting run. Actually, speaking of weird runs, I've been doing that throne-only run of Vanilla, which I will never stream that, by the way, because it's now day 3 of doing the Greon fight. Still throwing rocks. Everyone's almost to rank 2 anatomy from throwing rocks. At which point they'll actually be able to win the fight. Because Lenar needs to rank up as one-handed, and everybody else needs to rank up anatomy, and that gives you just enough damage, I think, to be able to actually beat him with throwing rocks while having a bunch of over-leveled archers. Still no idea what the rocks actually scale off of. I assume it's Dex. I have nothing to go on that, so nothing to go by. So yeah. I'm assuming 4 straight days of throwing rocks at a knight and a dragon, then isolating the dragon and isolating the knight into an alleyway, and then throwing 200 more rocks at that dragon, and then throwing another 140 rocks over at over at that knight. In before he heals himself for another 45, at which point Leonard has to hit him for another 80, at which it goes back and forth like crazy. So there you go. SMRPG is out. Yep. Alright, what do we got here? So first off, Avalon, because we gotta have that fight on the beach. So Avalon. You can do it, Mace. You have the technology. You have, like, the best items in the game, but there's only one of you. Unfortunately, I couldn't rename any of the armor to the Matrix Overdrive, which is, to this day, the greatest name for an armor I've ever heard. It's like the top two items, the Matrix Overdrive and the Vaporizer. It's like, man, that crap is strong right there. And for Runescape, where most of them suck except for the one character that doesn't, which is this guy. They're trying. Anyhow, let's see what happens. So, my money's on RS here, just because they've got way more damage, but they've got real sucky accuracy, as is pretty much part of the course for RuneScape. So, I mean, the little rando characters might buy just enough time for Mace to go in and completely dominate everybody, especially if he actually decides to use his item ability this time. It's pretty rare that he decides to use Bloodbath for some reason. He's as aggressive as he can be, so I'm not sure why that is. Anywho, still picking out coffee grounds out of my teeth, because them espresso beans are dandy! It's nice. So, funny note on espresso beans. Normally, when you drink a cup of coffee, you know, you end up feeling all warm and everything, and during the summer, that's not necessarily a good thing. Because, you know, it's already warm, you're feeling extra warm, then suddenly you're too warm. It's like, oh man, I'm feeling all gross and everything. This isn't great. You have espresso beans. You get all the benefits of having that coffee, on top of the fact that you don't feel extra warm and everything. Extra funny note on that is that's actually how they were originally, how coffee originally got discovered, because they noticed that workers kept going and eating all these beans off the plant. They're like, yeah, these make you feel all energetic, and they make you work real hard and all that kind of thing. Make you work real hard, and yeah, they're like, I wonder what happens if we crush these and shove them into tea, and so they did. They're like, wow, this is really good, and it's also really bitter. Alright, we gotta keep this in mind. And then, yeah, it got real popular over in America, which caused it to get real popular everywhere else. Because pulling all-nighters was just kind of a really big deal at the time. And the chicken went balk. Thank you, chicken. Thank you for your input there. Greatly appreciate that balk there. Alright, Hazelmere going in to stun that chicken. Prevent him from doing anything scary. Man, I'm getting through with that 25% accuracy. There's that guy. Like Hairlack or whatever the hell his name is. Pulling out his big moves. Wait, no, that's Krasnyark. What am I talking about? Let's bring in Krasnyark. Funny part is, so the Paranoia ability, the one that prevents units from healing, there's only one item in the game that causes it. Holy crap! And let me go check on that real quick. Alrighty then. So we've apparently gone from lying in the living room to deciding that we want to hang out in one kennel. So they're just snuggled up in this kennel, freaking out at the cat. Two large dogs that could easily overpower a full-grown person are terrified of this little fluffy creature. It's supposed to show you what a little bit of attitude will do. Actually, I'm kind of curious if he chased them in there, because that wouldn't be the first time. That cat is a real jerk. He will, like, the moment that a dog enters, he will make sure that they know, like, I'm the boss around here, like, you do not. You don't do anything, I am the cat. And, yeah. Like, every creature or child that has ever entered this place knows that they have to respect the cat. Like, this chubby, old, still has claws cat. Ah, man. Why is he going for those stuns? So, yeah, he's going for shield bash stuns a lot of the times instead of the axe. The axe would do more damage, but the fact that it has stun attached causes him to think that it's way more valuable than it really is. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it might be right. They're getting advantages right now. Despite the fact that these guys are hitting all their low percentage hits. Yeah, they're doing alright. Cat's looking all smug over there. It's like, yes, they will all listen to me. They will listen. Okay. Interesting, he's even pulled that off. Man. Yeah, you weren't kidding, they actually might do it. Despite only having one competent character. Even the utterly incompetent ones are still pulling off something. Like, the one guy that's got the fancy spear, he only does that because for story reasons he's, like, got some artifact thing that's never really fully explained. So it's supposed to be that, and the fact that they come from a relatively advanced society with all these advanced things that they never bother to use. But, oh well. Oh yeah, there he goes. Goodbye, Kresnjurk. They just might do it. They just might do it. Actually, it's looking real likely that they're going to, too. Oh. Can you just block up? No, that's because he was, okay. He was aiming for a different guy that he had the 100% on. Why do you keep going for those shield dashes? Oh well. Someday he might find the table that tells them how much value they find out of certain things. Hopefully turning down the value of stun, because, man, they love to use that way too much. Like, way too much, and that's probably because in base game so many things had access to paralytic wave and, you know, just stun and all that kind of thing. You constantly have those situations where they're just spamming it all the time to the point that your team can't do anything, which in that case, yeah, sure, it was relatively effective. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that usually just powered through it and got annoyed when that didn't work. See, like, look how much more he does with that axe, but he's not using it. Not even sure he's got counter 4 either. He's only got like counter 3. So yeah, I think what we're probably going to do Monday. I think the best bet for Monday. So I wanted to start that AI run, but what we could do for the first chunk there, because I'm not doing anything tomorrow because there's finally a free family weekend, is yeah, I think we'll start off with finishing with this, and then we'll spend the rest of the time like just showing off the weirdness that is those two beta games. And then yeah, start the AI run probably, or hell, just start the AI run immediately and then do Wednesday for the beta stuff. Yeah, wow. They're completely winning it right now. Like, they're matching 1-for-1 in terms of losses, but yeah, the losses matter a lot more for the Runescape team. There we go. There we go. It's kind of funny because he's explicitly shown not to be able to do that, but I thought it seemed pretty fitting. Nope, it'll actually be as a pile of dust, but if you say so. Yeah, it's sad what they do with Hazelmere, because he's in, I want to say he's in like 5 or 6 different plot lines. And then finally at the end of it, like the entire time he's just carrying around this little seed thing. And so he's always looking at it like, oh, you know, I guess everything is going alright, everything's going well, and then finally, you know, during that fight he sees the first couple characters run up, you know, their weapons break and everything. And he gets a little worried, pulls out his seed thing, and the thing just like cracks open. It's like, well, I guess it's my time then, and then just like a thing hits him, and he's just there, and he just like completely turns to ashes, and his little fisherman hat slowly falls onto the ground on top of the ashes. It's like, oh, he got friggin' owned. That sucks. Yeah, wow, even Cadman's lasting this time. He was usually dead within the first round all the rest of those times. It might be like this team was woefully incompetent or something. Alright, let's fast forward a little bit, because they're just going to sit here using mend leaves. At least until some of these characters go away. There we go. He's using his health steal and everything. There's a... What chance? They've won it. Doesn't even matter that they're way behind in terms of health. They've won this. Because Mace alone can take 3 of them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to do a lot better than that. Because they're giving way more than they're taking. And it's one of those few times that the AI actually decided to use its healing ability. Okay then. Yeah, he's at full health with pretty much maxed out stats. And still has help. He doesn't have accuracy, though. So I guess that might be the saving grace for them. Everyone's about as blind as everybody else. Unfortunately, he never said the line. When Doctor there goes down, he's supposed to say, oh dear, you have died. But oh well. He didn't. Sometimes it just doesn't work that way. Alright, 25% chance to utterly own, but he doesn't do it. That's probably why he's using the shield. It's just really low accuracy. In fact, you know what? Since it's always at 25%, I kind of wonder if the 25% thing was implemented after programming the AI, where they realized that they would just never use certain things at 25 per because they were at such a low percent chance to hit. Not sure. Okay, there we go. Your heaviest hitter is currently bewitched. But sure, let's just go ahead and turn our back to him. That's a good idea. There he goes. The absolute worst one to take out, but whatever you want to do, man. Whatever you want to do. Goodbye, Snake. You're a really cool boss. By which I mean your music was really cool. It was literally just a giant snake. So there's Cadman. So now it's a 4v1, right? What are you even doing? Yeah, we're just gonna fast forward here. He's got parry, by the way. So he's just getting better at parrying every time he does it. Definitely got to take away their mend leaves next time. Definitely. Oh, hi, yet another spam call. Goodbye. Yeah, he just took out one of them. I guarantee you he's got this. I mean, look at that ridiculousness. He's actually doing it. He actually won a fight. Good job, Mace. Good job. Alright, while this is finishing up, I'm gonna go go and look at a couple things real quick, so I'll be right back. And I left it stuttering again. Why do I keep doing that? So, yeah, this is going pretty well for him, I'd say. Well, it's not done yet, and yeah, I'm very glad to provide. Time for you to go. Alright, well, you have an awesome one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we won't have time to finish all of this today, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what my actual timing is here. I'm literally just like waiting for the kiddos to get up. I'm going a little bit longer than expected on their nap, but as soon as they do, it'll be time for me to go as well. But yeah, looking forward to seeing another one there, man. Any parting fight requests? Yeah, I'm glad I put Berserk on him. And they have no chance. It's great. Actually, screw it. I might just end it on this one because this is it's hard to do better than this, I think. Don't usually see the 4v1 going well. It's like the one guy that could have pulled it off too. All right, come on, go for the multi-finish. Ah, that would have been awesome. If he crit the guy on the left, that would have been awesome. Like, he's just putting that Berserk to work. God dang. I'm gonna have to remember that. Like, all of these things are providing little bits and details that are gonna help out during the run, during the AI run. And yeah, he can't avoid screwing his friend here if whatever he does. And what? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so the shield. Okay, I gotta remember to give them heavy shields then, because then when they counter, they can Berserk. But then their heavy shields don't proc Berserk. They don't take it. Interesting. Okay, it's good to know. This is good information. Good job, Mace. Good job. And then he parries it. And he just parries it. Love how Ciricius is actually the last guy left, as it should be. Okay, so let's see. He's now max rank +1 parry. Hasn't even triggered Overpower yet. It's exactly like I wanted. Oh, and then he goes for the fancy finisher. He can use it. He can use it. He just wanted to steal his health. Man, that was a stylish finish. I like it. I like it. Alright, get out of here, RuneScape. Alright, yeah, you know what? I think we, I think we can do one more. We'll do one more. I gotta go check on them, though. So, let's see. Why don't we do... We'll do the GOT Xeno rematch, I think. Alright, there we go. Mark them down as the contenders. And I'll be right back here. So yeah, this one probably shouldn't favor either team too strongly, but we'll see how it goes. I'll be right back. Alright, so how are we looking here? So yeah, this will be the last one way or another, though. So GOT's lost one, but they've also lost one of their biggest assets for this one. Although, yeah, they're starting to take a pretty big chunk out of them now. We've got a couple characters about to go down. One way or another, only one team leaves. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's leaning towards XDev right now because they've lost one of their big distraction characters. The one useful thing about the witch there is she ends up hitting everybody with curse, which ends up causing them to lose a lot of their overall tankiness. It's definitely a lot more threatening than it once was. Because like in this, takes off about 200 health, whereas originally you took off like 50 to 100. But yeah, so that, I mean, even if it's one extra hit on everybody, that's already going to be scary enough. Okay. Alright. I might still have it, though. It all depends on what that little pumpkin decides to do. All comes down to the pumpkin. Man of pumpkinly caliber. Also, be right back again. Alright. I mean, so far it's still looking like it could go either way. Definitely too early to call. No, they just lost another one. Nope. Oh, crap. Okay. Let's all calm down. Let's get away from the wires with all your bobbing heads. Chill out. I know, the cat left the room. We're all happy. The cat walks away. Dogs run out. Like, oh man, we're free. The tyrant is gone. Calm down, thing one and thing two. Alright. You know, because one got pets, so they all gotta get pets. But it's gotta be an equal amount of pets, otherwise it's not fair. Oh, okay. No. Go. Go lay down. We're not doing that. I know, we're celebrating our freedom here. Friggin' doggo 4th of July. Because the cat left the room. Who'd have thunk it? Okay. So Pumpkin has changed, or Tyrion has changed over to his whole I will do nothing or I'll turn around the fight mode. It's weirdly more fair than it looks like. Because yeah, if he didn't have that option to fail, then he probably would just keep healing the entire time. And considering that move doubles current health, that could potentially be really, really powerful. But it looks like they remember to use double shot, so there's a mountain. Man, what's that looking like? This is a complete mess right now. Yeah, Xeno's lost 4 guys. Same as GOT. Neither one's got very much going for them in terms of recovery. I think Tyrion's the only guy that can actually do proper recovery moves. Yeah, this is kind of looking like it's going towards Xeno, though. Like, despite those early advantages, they're getting a little bit stuck in the woods there. Looks like the Xeno team's decided to completely pull out of the fight and just keep sniping from a distance, which is always good. Yeah, I think that alone will probably be what wins it for them, because it's just 1 extra round of attacks on everybody. Ooh, that'll do it too. They basically sacrificed a character to get about roughly 400 or 500 extra damage out there. Alright, enough of the mend leaves. Fast forward through mend leaves. There goes Pork. Kind of a waste of a double, but okay. Yeah, there was no pumpkin for him to make boom. If there was, he probably would have just wiped that entire team, but oh well. Yeah, I think Tyrion's not going to be the clever one for this fight. He's not going to be the one to turn it around again. He did so very well last time, but he's letting everyone down now. Yeah, there he goes. He just put himself right in the open to get shot down. I don't know what wrong, but yeah. I don't know what he's doing over there. Like, let me just keep slapping band-aids on you. This is a good plan with no problems whatsoever. This is one of those times where the AI just plain has no clue what to do. So they're just thinking, okay, the most useful thing I can do for my immediate situation, since I can't attack, is to go heal, so they keep healing and getting stuck instead of trying to approach anywhere. Which is one of those things with the AI just being bad in this game. Because unless they're specifically told to go and, you know, attack a specific direction, or unless they're able to reach somebody right away, they're going to be real dumb about it. Because they can't do anything this turn, so who cares about next turn? They're very short-sighted. So we're going to fast forward until they're finally out of Mending Leaf Hell. Man, who'd have thought? What a turnaround. It's making me think of that friggin' Stannis arc. Oh no, we're getting lag. We're getting real bad lag. Okay, I guess it's all as well if this is the last one then. It's still going back and forth here. As before, Braun might be the deciding factor there. Because he's made it right to the very end, he's taken some of their hits. He can basically nullify them. That dragon's not doing anyone any good back there, but has decided it doesn't want to fly for some reason. Yeah, they're all just stuck up there. Stuck eating leaves forever. Yeah, this is tragic. Alright, what's the score looking at? Yeah, 6 still standing on the Xeno end. 4-6. With a decided range advantage, because they keep... Yeah, they're stuck in Mending Leaf Hell. There's nothing they can do. It's all over for them. Oh, crap. Well, I mean, this might be fitting, considering what probably happens. I forget if it's tomorrow or Sunday. I think it's Sunday when the last episode, or the next episode of GOT comes out, but it's probably going to be something similar to this. So I guess predictions will be... Let's see, who's that? Let's see, Arya gets out. It's like Jamie gets out, Viserion gets out, and then the Hound gets out. And Braun, because he's too awesome to die. There we go. And then everybody else dies. Let's go with that. Make some predictions based off this utter, just absolute randomness over here. And then a bunch of them show up with guns, I guess. As Braun just carves down everyone. Yeah, seriously, he might actually turn this around. I was gonna say, if he went for an evade there, that would have been better, but, he might actually be the one to win it for them. Like, those guys are still stuck. The dragon, I guess the dragon hasn't gotten any attacks off, so he can't build up TP. No, they went for a preempt, but that's not going to do jack for them. Okay, there goes another one, potentially. Almost. Yeah, and there he goes. He might do it. He might actually do it for them. Like, he's got enough punch to make it through. As Jamie punches out a guy. Okay, so yeah, that's going to be the episode predictions. So Arya makes it through, Braun makes it through, the dragon makes it through. So only one dragon makes it through. But then... let's see. And then, yeah, Braun just, like, wins the fight. But then everybody else gets wiped. That's what we're calling. Even if that's absolutely not what they were foreshadowing whatsoever. Shank. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. They came out of the crypts and got him. Right, wait, so who's left? Oh, they just have the one guy left. Because Braun took care of everyone else. No crap. No crap! And then the dragon comes in to eat the Humvee. Alright, I gotta stop fast forwarding it. It apparently makes the stream lag. Uh-oh. And definitely time for me to get going. It looks like the kiddo just got up and unplugged the monitor. Come on, fast forward it. Lag or no. And he comes in. I was gonna say for the finish on the dragon, but I guess it wasn't him. Alright, stop with the leaves. There's one attack left. Don't even do the thing with the leaves. What are you doing? Stop! There we go. And just Braun wins the entire fight. Buccaneers might be a little OP. Anyways, there we go. That's all there's time for today. So that's Eggstiv wiped out. They've run out of disposable rookies. And alright, so there's that last remaining team of everybody for the next one. So thank you guys for stopping by. Have an awesome one. And yeah, I will see you at the next available opportunity. Take care.